Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live stream. Live stream offline. The hell? Why be the live stream offline, please? Is there something wrong with it? There we go, it's on. There we go, we're on, we're home. Well, what's up, Mako? La Liga cards in 45 minutes. Good afternoon. Hello, friends. Hello, hello. What's up, Ian Sorare? How you doing, brother? Take it you won't be buying in a Liga today because the prices are going to be mental. Well, let's see, right? Let's see, I think let's have a little gander and see what the situation is. Find me here. Twitch.tv/NepentheZ. Let's have a gander. Let's have a propaganda. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Oh dear. Alrighty then. All right. Excuse me. Hello, friends. Hello, everybody. Hello, JB. How you doing, man? Are we boycotting next FC 27? Why? Why would you boycott it? Did like your favorite content creator tell you that it's going to be a bad game? I'm getting a bit tired of people consistently asking EA to change things, and then when EA change things, people just say, "Oh my god, this is bad." Like, you can't have it always. Jesus, that sneezes got us, man. I gotta say, you've had such a lot of influence on a lot of things I do for fun since 2015. Is that right? So, give me the example. What's the most recent example, JB? That shows it could work for you, though. One good weekend and you can complete hot streaks. Only have, what, 7 to 8 chances per week with all leagues. Saw somebody... Oh, yeah. The person that hit the top streak. Obviously, so he said first or second game week in, and then he explained how he got to the top streak for the Salzburg game because he had used some in-season cards in the first couple of weeks from the other leagues. I found it interesting that he captained the Classic because he got 40% boost instead of a 60% boost. MFLJB, yeah, nice. Yeah, so he missed out on an extra 20%, but maybe that was the right captain choice in the first place. And so even, you know, he could have captained anyone and he would have still hit the score target, but maybe that was the best captain choice, and maybe that's more important than the hindsight top captain choice. What's up, Soda? How you doing, man? What's up, Mr. Wobbles? How you doing, bro? I wonder what our average price the La Liga cards will be. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll be interested to see if I'm able, or anybody is able to pick up any of like the deadbeat players for min bids. Hitting it is better than risking the extra 20%. Yeah, I do somewhat agree. I agree. What's up, Brandes? What's up, Apple? How you doing, guys? It's extremely heartening to see someone hit it so early on. Oh yeah, and notice as well though, that guy, he had 2 Salzburg players, and then 3, like he had a split stack basically. He had, you know, 2, 1, 1, and 1, 2 from one club, which were favoured for a clean sheet, and then from there, for me personally, man, brutal. brutal timings for me. I really feel like I should be on this streak now, but Rijeka unexplicably conceded a goal to Rudez, and it killed my lineup. If I'd just had the right players, if I'd just had Dontas instead of Jankovic, or Lasikas instead of Devatak, I might not quite made that, but desperately close on both accounts, and just not quite there. Just desperately unlucky. Just desperately unlucky. If they didn't concede a goal, we're Gucci. If they scored the goals that they should have scored, probably Gucci then as well. I need like 5 players to complete one of my champ collections, but every card is like £20 plus. Not sure if they're actually worth it, that price. Yeah, that's a lot for a championship player. Crazy how early he was on that streak, because Holzberg was on the Saturday. Yeah, so he would have built up towards that over like the last week. Would I be right in saying after this current game week I can craft SPL fail players? Yeah, I'd wait until like there's maybe some communication from Sorare, because I don't know if it'll be directly at 3 PM when the game week closes, or possibly at 7 PM when the rewards are divvied out. But if you would have said to me at the start of the weekend that by the end of the weekend you will be on the 4th stage, I'd have been like, yeah, like delighted with that. Delighted. It's actually quite a shame, because this lineup here, no, not this lineup. Yeah, this lineup here finished. Then I put in this lineup, and this hit 391. And I suppose it might be a bit of a blessing, actually, because I was hoping that I could get this lineup in. I was hoping that I could get... I can't remember how it worked, but yeah, I missed out. Oh, I missed out on the... Oh, yeah, that's what it was. How many points? I was trying to get in here. I was trying to get in there the other lineup that I had. I'll show it to you. This one. I was trying to get this Rapid VN lineup in there, and I missed it by 2 minutes. And look at that, I'm 3rd, guys. I'm 3rd with 383 raw points. Had I been able to get this in, this would have cleared the 420 with all the bonuses that would have been on top. Because obviously you only get 20% captain bonus and then no other bonuses. So with 5% in season, 5% collection score, 50% captain bonus, and 1 or 2% XP, we would have cleared 420. And so then I would have been, woulda, shoulda, coulda, but would have been at that point on this streak with these teams. And I probably would have been then even more frustrated that I probably would have missed it, or like looking at these scores going, damn, if I had it right, I could have got to the top streak. So it will work out how it works out. What's up, Mr. Bojangles? How you doing, man? It will all work out, but it's important now for my next games to really focus on getting good teams together. So we've got Altak against Tirol. We've got Boschum against Hertha. Then we've got maybe some of the French League 2 teams can be good for us. Is that a Saturday? Yeah. 7:45 though. Sturm Graz against Hartberg could be quite good for it. Some of these Bundesliga 2 teams could be quite good for it. Osijek could. I probably wouldn't risk it, mind you. Got some midweek games for your teams as well. Yeah, have got some European games for sure. So for today, I'm not really going to focus on La Liga players unless they're dropping at the like bottom tier. Today I want to focus on getting Eredivisie, Bundes 2, Belgian Pro League, and French 2 kind of finished off and picked up and set up for the game week that's due to come. I want to make sure that they're kind of finished as close as possible. Can't wait for the one of 1,000 Yamal to go for a mortgage payment. Is there a spreadsheet of key players for each team? I could make that would help. For example, Dantes for Rijeka is only behind Frug. Yeah, Ollie, if you wanted to put that information together, that'd be unbelievable. Not just for me, but I'm sure everyone in the community would appreciate that sort of information. Would you put in that lineup? Though, yeah, I would. Like, I was literally like, that was the lineup I'd preserved for it. Yeah. What is this football league? Dependent on real life football. Yeah, it's fantasy football. Outrageous. Currently coming third in All-Star Rare, but can't see the prize pool. Nuts, did you see the guy hit 6? Yeah, we looked at it at the start of the stream. It's mad. He's mad. Good for him as well. Am I right in thinking that for streaks, special cards don't get a bonus? That only applies in leaderboards. What special cards, Aaron? Two Bundesliga is crazy. Wolfsburg should be the clear favourite, but they will also get dragged into the chaos. It won't be as much one-sided as everyone likes to think. You know, the last year we had the hollows, etc. Last year we had special editions, but they didn't offer anything in any competition. When EA releasing beta codes, and will you get Ultimate Team one? I've no idea, mate, I'm afraid. I'm not privy to that sort of information. Had a long time no see. Just wondering what your plans for FC27. I think for FC27, I want to make a couple of core changes to the way I make content, because for the last 3 years, I've done, you know, Draft Glory every day, Road to Glory every day, 6 p.m. content every day, and then the odd extra video here or there. What I want to do, especially for the Road to Glory channel, is I only want to upload content when there's something worth uploading. I want the Road to Glory to have an actual like plan, and if there's no like progression towards the plan, there's no video. So I'm not going to feel obliged to upload every day. I'm just going to make a video when it's ready, it goes live. Then start working on the next video. When it's ready, it goes live. So that'll be on the RTG and second channel. On the main channel, as well as 6 p.m. content, I want to do a few more things like just dedicated videos of, you know, I learned a lot when I was making the Division 2 content, that something would come out on a Tuesday and I would make a piece of dedicated content for the thing. And so, like, let's say EA release a new single player live event on a Monday, I would make, instead of doing a 6 p.m. video piece of content where it's like, oh, look at all of this typical traditional stuff that we get all the time, instead I would want to make a dedicated video for the single player live event. Or if EA release something that is for the Foot Gallery, you know, a special thing for the Foot Gallery, having a video dedicated to that, explaining to people how to complete it, best ways, best methods, most efficient ways. They're the sort of changes that I'll be making. So one of the reasons why I kind of want to really focus on making quality content rather than quantity of content on FC is because I will do more with Sorare. Like if I could almost split them a bit more 50-50 over the next year or two, and then slowly lean towards more Sorare stuff over the next 3 to 5 years, I think that would be great. You've got to remember, I'm 42 in a few months. I can't keep playing FC all my life, man. My boys are taking over. So, yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, Alan, I'm getting a bit sick of certain creators pissing on EA no matter what they do. You know, they're pissing on EA to make changes, and then they're pissing on EA when they make changes. They're pissing on EA when they don't make changes. They're pissing on EA when they do something positive because it wasn't done quick enough. They're pissing on EA when they do something negative because they got it wrong again. Like, eventually, you've just got to maybe take a step back and look at yourself and think, do I just hate this game? And if you do, don't play it. Like, that's fine. Like, I don't like when I have a negative thing to say about a game and somebody says, oh, well, just don't play it then. because I don't think it's fair assessment to say to somebody because they don't like something that they can't like anything. You know, I get a lot of joy out of FC, but I also get a lot of frustration out of FC. However, there are a few content creators out there that do nothing but piss on this game. Like nothing at all but piss on the game. And they have never a positive thing to say. And when they play it, they just piss on EA and piss on the game. And when they don't play it, they piss on the game. And I sit there and I think, at this point, surely you've just got to stop playing. Did you see the one guy's completed Streak 6? Yeah, we looked at it at the start of the stream if you want to go back and have a check, Neil. But yeah, it's banging, that is. It's absolutely banging. Anyway, let's not talk about FC. And look, do you know what's crazy mad, guys? Do you know what's crazy mad? I've been back streaming Sorare for like, what, a week and a bit, 10 days or so. In that time, I have banned 2 people. And they were both banned because they were promoting their own streams in my chat. There is a different level of respect on this game and in this community compared to FC. Like, like I tweeted today, I tweeted quite a long piece of information about my thoughts on the FC 27 pitch notes. And I thought it was quite fair. Things that I liked, I explained why I liked them. I also explained my concerns with EA, how EA would deal with them. I explained the things that I didn't like. And all I was met with was, oh, this fucking page shill. How? I've given positives, neutrals, and negatives, and apparently that's me being a paid shill. I just don't understand. And so I actually said to Josh just today, actually, like, I'm tired of trying to understand. I'm tired of trying to get in the mind of where people are with the game or the company or the content, because people seem to change their opinion in the moment. Like people were saying, oh, we loved FIFA 21. EA need to bring that game back. But then those same people are saying the game's dead. It hasn't changed for years. Well, if you loved FIFA 21 and it hasn't changed for years, why aren't you also loving FC 26? It's weird. And one question, imagine my lineup of 5 players is starting on the bench. Is starting and the bench player is also starting. The bench player scores will be added to the total score of the team or only count if he's in the lineup? No, the player on the bench will only count, yeah, if he's in the lineup. Yeah, exactly. Also, the Sorare community have always been insanely helpful. When I first joined, it surprised me. Everyone competing against each other for cash, yet everyone would just help each other with DMPs and team news. It's a great community on the whole. Yeah, it is. It really is. What's up, NepentheZ? How you doing, man? I guess it is what it is. Sorare community is so much more level-headed. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, however, don't get me wrong. Sorare has got a few of its Grinches, let's say. You know, I personally thought Sorare 27, I thought when they released the information for that, there was a few things I didn't like, but for the most part, I thought it was wonderful changes. And to see people just crying their eyes out about it was a bit like a, wow, man, like, you haven't even taken the time. Like, I saw some people spend more time complaining about how bad the UI was than learning how to use the UI. And I thought, if you spent as much time learning how to use the UI as you did complaining about how to use the UI, you'd know how to use the UI, right? So, apart from when you force us to buy, so apologies on that one. I do actually want to have a real good once over of all of the cards today. Hopefully the auctions have picked up a little bit. I'm good, but I have a job interview tomorrow, so I'm a bit nervous. I hate stuff like that. Just got to be yourself, man. I know it's like the most cliche advice, but don't even be nervous. Just go in there. They need an employee as much as you need the job. So make sure that they know that. Just walk in there and be like, listen, motherfuckers, If you don't hire me on the spot right fucking now, you're still going to have no employee. Get it done. You probably won't get the job if you did that, though, to be fair. But could be worth a try, couldn't it? Could be worth a try. Just been looking at Yamal number 1 limited went for 535. Be interesting how much the top guys go for this year. I do think at the start, I think one of the things I called, you can go back and like validate this on the video that I made from the first, let me get the, in this video here, the Sorare 27 part 1 update, was that the part 1? Yeah. In this video here, and I read about how the streaks are now not limited and rare, but instead limited with like rare bonuses and stuff. And I remember saying then, I'm not playing rare anymore because there's no benefit to it. I'm going to play limited instead. And as a kind of byproduct of that, my budget, instead of being split from limited and rare, got pushed into limited only. It doesn't take a lot of people to have that same mentality to cause limited to go up a lot. And so I think what you might see for players like Yamal this year, I think you might see the rare version possibly cheaper than last year because there's less people caring to buy it. But I think you might see the limited version way more expensive this year because with anytime entry and the way hot streaks are, he's going to be gold dust. So I think you might see the stars be significantly more expensive. Some Liga Portugal prices are going up and up with how close we are to kick off. I'm fortunate that I've nearly finished Liga Portugal. Right, let's see. Swallow I'm not interested in. Genduz. This guy... Oh. Wow, this guy hasn't been minted for 3 days. Oh, of course he hasn't been minted for 3 days. They stopped auctions. I wonder if now that people have seen the SPFL players and scores, that they're looking at actually like them and being like, do you know what? We're all right. I won't go back into buying them. I've gone rares. I found that to be a better price. I do think the price is probably better, but I just don't think the game mode is more efficient. See, I don't want to get these insta-buy prices. This guy needs to be coming in at around the £5-ish mark. Very happy with him. If you did an Arsenal RTG on FC 27, might need to pack Vinny. Going to be an expensive Arsenal team, ain't it? Mate, I don't want to get my hopes up with Vinny because I feel in my gut, I feel in my instincts that he won't be coming to Arsenal. I feel like Real Madrid will just give him what he wants. But the prospect of him coming, the fact that the conversation is there, is crazy exciting. The fact that the Rock Nation, like owner, CEO, whatever, is flying to London today. Why would he be flying to London? What business would he have here? Other than the fact that Vinicius Jr. is coming to Arsenal. Yeah, the president's flying to London. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, what? Why would he? And listen, he might be flying to London because, I don't know, his parents live in London and he's come to see them for a day, right? You never know. Mr. Wobbles, thank you very much for the 9 months, man. I do think now that the SPFL first week is out of the way, I can kind of actually hold tight on these ones a little bit and focus on these a little bit further down the line. We're in no rush. We've already got our Celtic cards. We've got until next weekend now before the SPFL picks up again. The ones that I want to make sure we're good for are the ones that are coming up this current weekend. So Portuguese League is an important one for me to kind of make sure that we've got wrapped up. And it does look like we're in a very healthy spot for the Portuguese League. What's up, Kika? How you doing, man? Might be the first superstar to go from the sunny Madrid to rainy London in their prime. Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I was thinking, like, isn't it mad, like, how few players, how few world superstars come to the Prem rather than go from the Prem. Right, this guy, this Donny boy. Who is that? Rigo. Pop him up on 3. Ozil was still in his prime. Yeah, Ozil was in his prime, but I don't think he was like Ozil. I love Ozil, right? I thought he was great. He was great for Arsenal, and I thought he was just an absolutely superb player. But I don't think Ozil was Real Madrid's like best player. You know, maybe you could argue that Vinny J isn't either. Maybe Mbappe or Bellingham is, but I think Vinicius Junior would be quite literally like the most insane Premier League transfer, like possibly ever. Like, do me a favor. List off your top 5 football players of all time in your lifetime that you've seen play. And I'm going to wager a guess that maybe one of those has played in the Prem, and none of those have come to the Prem but left the Prem. I'm also getting Pedro Gonçalves. I'm not sure. Why is Eduardo Quaresma expected to leave, is he? Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Suarez, Lewa. Yeah, so Lewa, never in the Prem. Suarez obviously played for Liverpool but left the Prem. Neymar, never in the Prem. Messi, never in the Prem. Ronaldo built himself up as a young kid in the Prem and then left the Prem. Ronaldinho never played in the Prem. Yeah, Henry joined Arsenal as a bit of a misfit and then became the Henry that, guess what, left the Prem, went to Barcelona. Like, what player, Quaresma just renewed the contract, not leaving, okay, what player at the absolute top of their prime joined the Prem? Haaland's probably up there with one of the best, yeah. Di Maria, David Silva, Aguero maybe. Fabregas. Well, no, Fabregas left the Prem, didn't he? Fabregas left Arsenal for Barcelona. I think Pogba was the biggest, so Vinny would clear that. Yeah, Pogba's definitely one of the biggest. Yeah, Varane was already like a bit injury hit and already on the decline, I think. Yeah, Torres is definitely up there as one of those sort of players. Torres and Aguero, but they got better in the Prem and they weren't top before joining. De Bruyne. Well, no, De Bruyne was already in the Prem with Chelsea and it just didn't work out. All these players were ones that Madrid or Barca were happy to get rid of. Yeah, pretty much. I think under that context as well, I don't know that they're happy to get rid of Vinicius Junior. I think from what I understand, and listen, we can all draw whatever conclusions we want from the in the nose and the kind of the ex culture. Oh, I don't want to bid on him. Is he still going Saudi? Why is he still selling for so? I haven't even looked at the player name there, and I've just kind of looked at the price and gone, oh yeah, that's about in line, and clicked on it. Yeah, but from reading between the lines, he will. Well, never mind. From reading between the lines, the main reason Vinicius Junior won't re-sign with with Real Madrid is because it will set a precedent for Real Madrid during contract negotiations for their other top stars that they don't want to do. So if Vinicius Junior gets what he wants here, guess what? When it comes time for Jude Bellingham to renegotiate his contract, he's going to want the same. When it comes time for Chouameni to renegotiate his contract, he's going to do the same. When it comes time for Diomande in 4 years to renegotiate his contract, he's going to want the same. And Real Madrid will be making a rod for their own back, where they may well internally say, we are better letting him go than derailing the club's like future and history, like history and future, by setting a bad precedent. Almost all of my favourite players haven't played in the Prem. Also, I didn't watch much growing up. Yes, it's just mad, isn't it? So I don't want to overpay for these players. I want to make sure that, oh, this is a one-of. Lucas Mincarelli. What a name. Is that not the same for Arsenal, though? The reason why I would say no is because the image rights are already 100% for the player. I believe that's the case for like almost all players and such. But I think when you look at Arsenal, Martinelli can't command the same price as Vinicius Jr. There's not many players, if any players, like maybe Bukayo Saka and maybe Declan Rice can step up to Mikel Arteta and say, hey, we deserve that too. Maybe those two. Nobody else. There's nobody else in that team that can sit there and say, yeah, I deserve that. He leaves on a free next summer if he don't sign a contract, and Real Madrid won't do that either. So it's either sign now or sign a new contract. Gabriel and Saliba. Like, centre-backs just don't have that pull. They just don't. Van Dijk had it. Van Dijk was on 750k per week. Ask this question. Was Van Dijk ever on the same money that Salah was on? I suppose is a question I'll ask. Asked this question in DC the other day. When it comes to market credits, do you prefer to use them to bring the cost of expensive player down, or help bring the cost down of multiple lower players so that you can get more for the same price? It literally is irrelevant, right? It doesn't matter if you make £100 player £50 or £52 players £1. It's the same output and the same return. It literally doesn't matter. Both on 400k a week after last contracts. He was captain and arguably the best centre back of all time. Yeah, so Van Dijk does have that a little bit of extra je ne sais quoi. But I also think when we're talking about 750k for Vinicius Jr., like Gabriel or Saliba can't be like standing in front of Arteta going, yeah, I deserve that, because they just don't. One of the big reasons why Vinicius Jr. can stand there and command that kind of money is not just because of his performances on the field and what he could offer the club there, but because of the commercial benefits that he brings to the club, right? All of a sudden, Arsenal can negotiate better TV deals, better brand partnership deals. They'll get more merch sales. Like what they will just gain from having such a superstar at the club is way more than what any other Arsenal player can offer. Even Saka. These prices are getting confusing. I don't know the best time to buy because I thought the more mints, the cheaper, but it seems to be the opposite. So the way it's going right now is like a little bit of a... Let's pick somebody that's got sales. It's a little bit of a wave, right? So what you'll see is the first mint will be high, then it will gradually go down as the people that care about the player get the player. Then it will stagnate because nothing's going on with the league or the player. Then as the league is getting closer and closer and closer to being playable and being active, the prices will go up because people start picking up cards out of fear of not being able to play. Vinny just using Arsenal to get more money from Madrid. I mean, if you want to believe like morons on X, then yeah, sure. But if you want to believe instead the in the knows that are hyper connected and appreciate and trust the fact that actually it seems like if things go wrong at Real Madrid, there is a great opportunity here for Arsenal to pick up Vinicius Jr., then fair enough. Liga Portugal was running 2 auctions at the same time, but now a longer waiting period. Oh, that's interesting. Bamba. La 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 bamba. So my Portuguese SPFL is basically done. Portuguese League is basically done, which is great. What other league is starting this weekend? Eredivisie. This is one that I need to get on top of. And this is one that is expensive. And as you can see here, I don't have any players from 6 clubs already. NEC players are likely to go up in price because of a midweek game. Let's have a look. What are we saying? See, this is pretty stable. £30 for Unastall. Only reason he could leave, I think, is because they don't want to pay Mbappe money to Vinny, and then having to pay Jude as well. Especially, yeah, exactly, and that's what I was saying earlier, right? There are some legitimate reasons as to why Vinicius Jr. could genuinely possibly leave Real Madrid for Arsenal. Don't Drommel is moving there. Is that why Unastall's been pretty consistent at that price, is it? I'm not doing that thing, though, again, like where I'm not buying players or buying players because of possible or projected or suspected transfers. Because for every player that I buy for 30 quid that becomes a 12 quid player, I'll buy a player for 2 quid that will become a 20 quid player. And if I sit there trying to micromanage every single transfer and every single thing in between and every single bit of like rumors and news, I will literally be here. I won't even get through buying every player before the end of Sorare 27. Are you going to buy Willem 2 players on Sorare in the Eredivisie? I sure am, mate. If I haven't already got some. Bart Van Rouge. That's your favourite club? That's pretty cool. I've got like a bunch of Eredivisie players. Why is the one that's got 7 hours left more expensive than the one that's got 2 hours left? People be crazy. Man, see what I mean by Eredivisie being crazy? Like, this is what I noticed, like, when I was bidding on them the first time around. There's about 8 teams where their midfielders and attackers are all like 20 to 30 quid each. It's crazy. Did you track how much your gallery was worth before you started this season? No. Ben Jacobs tweet, Newcastle have turned down a formal offer for Bruno Guimaraes. I jokingly said this the other day, but Bruno G will be starting for Arsenal in the Community Shield, and Ben Jacobs will still be sitting there telling people that he's not going. That guy, for some reason, has a hard-on for believing that he's not going. No market credits received, although I bought from primary market last 2 to 3 seasons. I think it was just last season that it was irrelevant. Did you see Veerman got a red yesterday in the Community Shield? Now could miss 3 games minimum. Them lads who bought him for 150 must be bricking it. Well, not really, because they still get like utility out of him, right? But yeah, obviously it'd be frustrating to miss out on him for sure for a few games. I read though it was only a 1-game ban, but that might be wrong. See, why is this guy going up to £5? I just don't think I want to pay that. Newcastle doing the same as last summer, ruining their own transfer deals by holding on to a player that doesn't want to be there. Yeah, it's a bit strange. He's probably being briefed by Newcastle. Other journals up there have said the same after denying it for the weeks. Got to be careful that I'm not bidding twice on the same player. What's up, Ben? How you doing, man? Bradingo, thank you very much for the prime, man. Much appreciado. Samalama damalama, you assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, and I made a rubber so that anything you can say against me, blah, 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 blah. Something like that, anyway. Newcastle just going to say that to get a bigger fee. It will happen, no doubt. One of the Arsenal in the know said that Bruno is waiting for the approval from Newcastle that he can have his medical at Arsenal. And so I guess at that point they're just waiting for the kind of confirmed success of a bid from Arsenal. And then that will happen. But there's a few in the knows that I'm pretty confident on believing, because they don't bait for engagement. They just post when there's news to be posted. There's a few guys that are just constantly regurgitating any bullshit they ever see just to try and get some engagement. And sometimes they're right, and sometimes they do have kind of more exclusive info. But it's just hard to take those kind of guys, whether it be Arsenal guys or not, like seriously. So midweek games aren't showing up on Sorare. Yeah, I did see that yesterday. Any tips on how to start a road to glory with €25? Yeah, don't. Just play for free. See, why is Ernst, Feyenoord's goalkeeper, 70 odd quid? Like, that is expensive. Do I think he'll come down? Maybe, maybe not. It's going to be one of those weird ones, right? If this guy gets a clean sheet in the first game, he'll go up over £100. If he concedes goals in the first games, he'll be down at like 50 quid. Yeah, I know he's a starting goalkeeper, but still 70 quid is like insane behaviour. Limited summer in season is €150. Yeah, that's crazy. Nick, do you think prices of contender might drop tomorrow with crafting? You would have thought so. You would have thought so. But also, you don't know, because, again, it's one of those things, right? Like the psychology of the human mind to a degree. If everybody is holding off on buying players because they're waiting for players to be crafted so that they can then go and buy the players, then there's actually going to be a massive rush of demand to match the supply of the cards that are coming. I'm not crafting tomorrow, no. I'll be crafting the following Tuesday. Kassem Virgo. La 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 tomba. Yes, I don't want him at that price. I started playing free to play a few weeks ago and I'm enjoying it. Excited for when the European cards are added. Is there any point in keeping my MLS cards, or is it purely just collection enjoyment? I'm considering discarding them all for essence and spending that on European packs when they're out. Yeah, that's a smart idea, Noodles. Although, obviously, you have got some utility with those MLS cards. I don't know if Leagues Cup is covered, but there's only one more MLS game on Saturday, I think, before Leagues Cup. Stein. I thought he was going to have a cracking season last season. I bought his rare for a fair old whack. And then he was Garbo. Yeah, it's covered. Yeah, so it might just be worth keeping those cards for that to help yourself get more gems if you can. Haj Musta is going to be a good player, isn't it? Look at that. See, look at that pricing there. Down at 30 now, up at 50. Like, that's a huge swing. That is a huge swing. And again, it's one of those ones where it's like, do I wait for him to come back down to around the 30 mark again? Or what if he doesn't? What if he like goes off on a heater on the first few weeks and months? And then people are just like, yeah, I'm not going to buy him for that. Then people are just like, yeah, that's it. Like, he's mad expensive now. Yeah, Eredivisie is going to be crazy expensive. Right, the Liga cards are here. Or are they? They're not here yet. The Liga is out. Well, it's supposed to be. But there's no... they are filtered by league. There you go. Lamine. Lamine is the first player, of course he is. And he's already got a £210 bid on him. Isn't that mad? It's just two guys bidding each other up as well. Lamine rare, only £5. I'm a Barca fan. This is going to hurt my wallet. Man, it's going to be a test. It's going to be a test. It's going to be interesting to see where the prices will be for you and for me. Problem for Eredivisie is they have quite a couple of teams. If they have a good week, they can have insane scores. Yeah, and listen, that's got to be built into the strategy, right? Like, that's got to be, like, I kind of like tongue-in-cheek said this before, but there's almost an element of this for my own self. Like, I keep thinking to myself, like, how deep do I want to dig into my pockets to make this work? And it's going to end up being around 20,000, give or take, for all of the minor leagues, which is over double what I thought it would be. And that's a lot of money straight away. A lot of money. But when you look at the individual cost price of each league and the prizes on offer and the actual strategy behind what the plan is, it's still not... I still don't look at it and think, oh, this is out of control. I still look at it and think, this is still, like, reasonable to hit that return on investment. When I think about the major leagues, you know, the clubs within those major leagues, like Real Madrid and Barcelona, like Bayern Munich, Dortmund, PSG, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, etc. And then I think about anytime entry, and I think about those top prizes of like $6,000. And then with a rare in season, if you can get up there, getting that little price bump, the prize bump on that as well. You look at it and you even then think, like, you don't have to have great success to return on the investment. So it's like, it's about finding that right balance. And as I say, for me, I had in my head at the start around the 25,000 mark. I thought it'd cost around 8,000 to 10,000 for the minor leagues, and I thought it'd cost around 15-ish thousand for the top leagues combined. And I was way off. And one of the reasons why I think I was way off, though, is because I think people are seeing with the gameplay in these first weeks and with that guy that's already hit the top streak in Contender, I think people are seeing that actually this, like, Sorare have built a good product. And so off the back of that, more people are wanting more cards, which means there is lots of demand, not lots of supply, and thus the player prices are way higher. And so, again, for my own self, the risk is huge if this goes upwards towards, you know, a 40,000 spend. It's just huge. And it just means that I've got to be on top of it consistently to actually generate that revenue back. Because I said this to Quinny kind of like last night. I said this to you guys yesterday. If I'm sat here in like 6 or 7 months from now with only a couple of months left on the season and I've only picked up like 4 or 5, even 10k return from scraping where I can, I'm going to feel like a right fucking mug. Because the reality of the situation will be the reason why I failed is because of my skill, not because of anything else. You know, like we said, there's already one guy that's got that top prize in Contender. That's mad. Will a higher price make you lock in more, though? Which may actually benefit you more as you won't get lazy and try and cut corners. Yeah, maybe. I'm wary. Like, last season was a bit of an interesting one because, as I said, last season I spent 32,000 on my rares and limiteds, and I recouped. I spent 12,000 on limiteds, and I recouped about 16,000. So I made profit. I spent about 20,000 on rares, and I recouped about like 5,000. So I made a huge loss on rares. In a nutshell, though, I got about 26,000 back by everything, spending 32,000. So I was only a little bit down, and that wasn't so bad, especially like given how bad rare was and stuff. But because I spent all that extra money on the super rares and uniques, and then on MLS, and then on K League, and on the J League stuff in that half season that they had, I ended up spending like almost £15,000 of money that I earned from playing the game back onto cards that aren't returning me anything. So there's just like, now there's that in the back of my mind. I'm like, damn, if I spend, let's say, 40,000 on all of these limiteds and it only returns me 10 or even 15 or even 20,000, let's say I even got 20,000 back in rewards and I've still hit a 20,000 like loss. That's shit, because I could have refined the strategy. I could have thought about it more before I started and thought, what do I actually want from this? And how could it actually work? And the reality is, you don't need every team from every league. You don't need every player from every team. And you don't need to compete in every league. And I actually think like a budget of 10,000, or the budget I've spent right now, is good enough for me to have a great season now for the rest of the season. Because I've got almost every minor league available and I've only spent about 12, 13,000. I sit there now and I think, yeah, I could easily make that back over the course of the season with what we've got here. It's those major leagues and those major league prices that are going to really make this be like that's a hit to the gut. I reckon 75 to 8% return can be classed as success because you can still sell them on as classics if needed. Yeah, I kind of already did assign in my head like a 15 to 20% like holding value, I suppose, of the cards by the end of the season. Like, so if I spend 40,000, I probably could sell the whole lot for 8,000 still. You thought Ter Stegen had gone Ajax as it fell through? Is he on here? Is he? Oh yeah, there he is. So, but similarly, and here's the other thing. Like, we're on week 1. Okay, SPFL, that was a pain in the ass. But this now, we're already pushing up here. If I'm smart with these next few stages, for the game weeks this weekend, I could find myself hitting this 1500 on Saturday and then building back up again through, you know what I mean? Like to get up towards it. So I'm looking already at this contender and I'm thinking, damn, we've already moved up. We've already done some. We've already got something. And there's still so much to come back that I have to account for. Like these rewards here. Claim. You've won a card. Nothing there. These rewards here are going to be huge in terms of, like, for example, if stars and icons are very expensive, I'm going to be able to sell these off straight away. Straight away. There's random shite bunders 2 teams with cards going for £30. Yeah, but that's because you don't know that the player is good, right? Like, just because they're a shit team, it doesn't mean it's a shit scorer in Sorare. Did I do this team? Here's going to be a depositing day. I was saying to my wife when I was explaining, like, oh, you know, it's probably going to be a lot more expensive than I thought. I was saying to her, like, isn't it weird because all of the prices here are front loaded, right? Once I've spent everything, I do not need to spend another penny in the game until Sorare 28, which is like an interesting prospect. So even if it was, let's say 40,000, that equates to what, like £800 a week? If I said to her, if I spent £800 a week across the entire game cycle, is that 800? No, that's not £800 a week, is it? Yeah, it is £800 a week, right? Yeah, it's about £800 a week for 40,000. Yeah, so if I spent £800 a week across 52 weeks, it wouldn't look nearly as devastating as front loading 40,000 in the first month and then not spending again. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see, can I get the strategy to work? What did we get up to there? Giver. About £740 a week. Do you get a tax break for it? No, it doesn't work like that. It's like any investment. It's just until you realize your profit or your loss, there's no tax gain or there's no tax breaks or tax payable. And because it's been loss after loss after loss, unless I would decide to like effectively like sell up, account it, and then go from there. Which, do you know what? After the way that I've done this, what better time to, at the end of the season, sell my entire collection, every single piece, account, get the tax break or loss or whatever, and then restart again for the next season. I'm meaning content as business, but it's an investment, right? Again, that's what I mean. It like, until it's like if I put £500 into EA stocks, there's no tax break nor tax cost until I withdraw from it. Or just like, you know, just like consolidate the loss. I often sell some terrible purchases in March and withdraw it for this reason. I don't know how, like what I find interesting about the tax side of Sorare is what attributions do you give to all the cards? Let's say I've bought all of these cards. Let's say I buy one card for £10 and then I sell him for £2. I've lost £8 on him. So I've got a net loss of £8. So that goes off my, like, you know, tax or whatever. What about a card that you buy for £10 and then sell for £10, but helps you win £1,000? What then? What is that? Like, what is that card's value? What is that card's true value? Like, it's a nightmare, and to be honest, no one knows. Yeah, so I've got, like, for the accountancy firm that I'm with, they've got like a couple of tax specialists, especially in the crypto and NFT space, because they deal with like a lot of content creators and YouTubers and things like that. and like they don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like I've had so many conversations with them where I'm like, the thing is, like, a card that I bought for £1,000 3 years ago is, I'm still entering into competitions, but that's won me a different card that's then won me some essence and then crafted me a card that I've then sold. So how, at that point, like, what value, what profit and loss do you attribute to all of that kind of chain of cards? Well, the wins are all taxable after a certain point. Well, but are they though? Because if you invest £100,000 and let's say you bought £100,000 worth of cards and you won £80,000 worth of cash, but the cards are now worth £10,000 and you withdrew it all, you're 10,000 worse off than you would have been. If you continue using those cards that earn you cards that then earn you cash, like, again, like, where does it come from? Like, it's a really, 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 like, complex thing because of the amount of branches of different things and opportunities that you have in Sorare. If they just base it off of the card prices, the bit we struggle is if I trade one card for 10 cards, then I sell those 10 for other cards, some for pounds, some for ETH. Yeah, it gets really messy. It gets really messy. It's really complex. And so if then we instead say, okay, I've invested £100,000 over my lifetime on Sorare and I've got £181 in my wallet, am I just £100 down? Oh, sorry, am I just basically £100,000 down? Well, in your case, it's also a bit different because I'm sure YouTube revenue would be taxable as well. What's YouTube revenue got to do with this? Let's say I spend £100,000 on cards, claim back £40,000 in rewards, but then spend that £40,000 on more cards, and then I've got nothing left. Have I spent £140,000, and so now I'm 140k down, or have I still only spent £100,000 and I'm still just £100,000 down? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really complex. First thoughts on the Liga prices? I mean, there's no point looking at the Liga prices until there's like a few minutes left, right? Because it's just irrelevant until there's actually a price there to kind of like confirm. Is it not a full entity like you're Sorare? I just don't understand how it's relevant, Mohammed, that's all. I don't understand what purpose it has to the part of the conversation of what we were talking about regarding taxable assets on Sorare. Right, we finished Joie. La Liga has arrived. They still haven't got the button for it. They have got it on here now, though. So what was Lamin's one of last year? $535. Be interesting to see how this marries up with this. No tax if you're from England. Wait, why not? Have the government been robbing me? I mean, they have been, but have they been illegally robbing me? You're going for 764? I always think the best way to report it is as capital gains tax on buying and selling and dividends on the money earned. But I've looked through a lot of legislation and can't pinpoint so very much to it. Yeah, so like that's kind of like the thing that the conversation I've constantly had with my accountant has been, I'm at a net loss. I have invested X. I now have Y. It is worth way less than X. Therefore, like, I should get a tax break. But it gets really, really, really difficult because if one card is in profit, do you then have to pay tax against that card? And again, like rewards, how do you literally have to assign the reward per card per point scored in compared to the overall total? And then what about if they earned essence and your essence craft was worth £1 or £1,000? Like, there are so many variables. It's really, really, really tricky. And I know what our government is like. One day I will just get hit with a massive fuck off tax bill or a fine for being like yep, this is what we've decided it is now. You owe us shitloads of money. And that's what it will be. I just know it will be. Here in the Netherlands, we would be getting taxed on, one, the prize earnings we make from Sorare, and two, from buying and selling the card. But don't you do it as a hot? This is what I mean. Like, let's say you invested £1,000. Those cards won £500, but they depreciated £600. So now you only have £900 in cash if you sold everything. So you've invested £1,000. You've played the game for 2 years. You've withdrawn £900 at the end of those 2 years. You are effectively at a £100 loss over those 2 years. How can you possibly be taxed on that? I just do the profit and loss of card selling and class it as realized once it's in the Sorare wallet, but there's no way to attribute ETH appreciation or depreciation to that. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we're getting taxed on 31% on winnings. But you are like, but the thing is, you haven't won anything until you've realized the profit, right? If that let's say you win £100 and it just sits in your Sorare wallet and then you reinvest that, you now have zero. So how can you get taxed on zero? Plus be classified as unrealized gains, also, which currently isn't taxable yet. Well, obviously, you haven't made any gains yet. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and like, if the Dutch government are charging 31% on your winnings, then what's defined as winning? Do they take some of your essence? Because like, how does that work? So let's say you claim essence, you claim 1,000 essence, you craft, you rip a card that's worth 50 quid. Is the card the winnings, or is the essence the winnings? Unrealized gains in Netherlands are taxable now. That is insane. That is insane. They did chatter about bringing in tax on unrealized gains in the UK, mainly targeting the crypto market, but don't believe it's been passed yet. Taxing people on unrealized gains is one of the dumbest shit you can do. Because now, does that mean you get a tax break on unrealized losses? Because otherwise, I'm just going to say to the government, yo, I'm about to lose £1 million. Can you give me the tax break on that? Do you know what I mean? Like, how dumb is that? That's why gambling charge from the UK GC is interesting. If it's deemed as gambling from the UK government themselves, it becomes untaxable. Would they return any tax you've paid already? Yeah, precisely. Yeah, because obviously gambling proceeds and profits in the UK aren't taxable. Which is hilarious that the one thing that people lose their shirt on typically is something that they don't tax you on, but everything else they will. Because they know we don't need to tax you. You're just giving it to us anyway. You're giving it to the bookies, and the bookies are paying their gambling license fees, and everyone gets it anyway through the system. The backlash was so massive they backed down for the Netherlands. I couldn't imagine a world where, like, forget like small fish like me, or you guys, forget like your typical crypto bro on X posting his 10k like go ape thing. Forget those guys, right? If you're talking about taxing people on unrealized gains in the UK, the amount of billionaires that have got ridiculous sums of unrealized gains, they would not stand for that. The amount of multi-hundred millionaires that have got ridiculous sums, in stocks and shares and like portfolios and stuff that would have tax bills up to the eyeballs off the back of it. Not a chance would they stand for that. Not a chance. The whole tax system is a joke. Don't get me started. For someone that owns and runs a restaurant, it's a nightmare. Mate, tax in this country is ludicrous. I explained this a few times to the stream, right? But for me, personally, to earn around like £70,000 from my own business, my business needs to make around £120,000. Because let's say it makes 125k, so 20% corporation tax, that's the 25k gone. The government's taken £25,000 of the money that my business has earned, 100,000 left. I take that 100,000 as a personal dividend in the most tax efficient way. I still lose about 32,000 of that, so I've got about 68,000 left. So now all of a sudden, half of the money, more than half of the money, or no, about half of the money that I've earned, the government has taken. And then of that £68,000 that I've got left, I pay my mortgage, but my mortgage is only a small amount of the principal, and then the rest of it is the effective tax of having the mortgage and borrowing the money from the bank. Then you pay your car tax, then you pay your road tax, then you pay your home insurance, then you pay your council tax, like then you pay like, you know, the next tax. Like before you know it, the amount of money you're left with after after true tax. I'm not saying like the mortgage itself, the mortgage principal, that's not tax. You know, buying clothes, whatever, even though you still do get taxed on those, I wouldn't equate that to tax. The amount of money that you're left with at the end of the week, day, month, or year is almost nothing, coming from a business that earned £125,000. That is fucking insane. Mortgages are the biggest rip-off, man. And the more you learn, and the older you get, and the more you pay, and I don't know how old you guys are or what your kind of circumstances or whatever, but mortgages are such a scam. They are such a scam. You take out a mortgage that's, let's say, £100,000, you end up paying almost £300,000 by the end of the term. It's just such a scam. You are better off either kind of grouping up with some people or buying a property, like, so that you can be mortgage free, or buying a property where you are mortgage free, even if it's just cheaper and small. And then once we save money, if we go over a certain amount, we also get taxed on that. Yep. So if we have over 100k, we're getting taxed on that as well at the end of the year. Yeah, getting taxed on already taxed money is insane. It bothers me. It just bothers me. It bothers me. Like, you can't even help people out now. You get taxed. You get inheritance tax. You get gift tax. You can't even just buy something for someone because you're being nice without it being taxed. You get benefit in kind tax. You get taxed into fucking oblivion in this country. It's crazy. If you can overpay on it, make sure you do. As soon as, yeah, we overpay on ours every month. Soon there will be air tax, X amount of per day to breathe. Well, like, you say that a bit jokingly, but it reminds me of something that I've seen pop up on my timeline several times now about like how HP printers, you have to have their monthly subscription service, and if you don't, you can't print. Which means you buy the printer, you buy the paper, and you buy the ink. But if you don't pay their fee, their tax, you can't use your fucking printer. That's insane. That's insane. And it's the same with all of these services now. Look at what I've got on the bottom of my bar here. What costs me money? Google. I pay for that every month. Streamlabs, I pay for their premium service, otherwise it's just shit. Discord, I pay for their premium service. What else have we got? Elgato, they don't really have any fees, they're free. Sky Go, I have to pay for that. Spotify, I have to pay for that. Meld Studio is free, which is great. TikTok Live Studio is free, that's fine. Steam, Epic Games, not really sort of relevant. Cloud, have to pay for that. This year, Premiere Pro, have to pay for that. Like, it's insane how expensive everything is these days. I was saying this to my brother-in-law the other day. I'm incredibly privileged in the job that I do and the revenue that I earn, and I would never try and pretend that I'm not, and I would never try and kind of associate my frustrations with bills, tax, debts, like, and those things with people who are truly struggling, because I've also been in a family household that's been truly struggling. I have grown up below the poverty line. My mum couldn't afford dinners some days. We didn't have electricity in the house some days. Like, I have grown up poor. I know what it is to be poor, to be truly poor, right? But I was explaining to my brother-in-law that in spite of how much money I'm privileged to earn through the job that I do, I feel broke. And if I feel broke, if I feel like I'm just struggling to keep my head above water, in spite of my privileges, how the fuck does everybody else feel? How are people getting, first of all, how are people getting by? But second of all, how are people not kicking up a fuss? How are the government not recognizing the challenges of the everyday person right now and doing something for them? And then, in a great moment of like hypocrisy, I'm about to sit here and spend £40,000 on NFTs. Like, and that's the answer to the question of how. Because people just live reasonably on the line or just outside of their means, don't they? Andy just bought in a £2 bus fare, though. Yeah, which is nice, isn't it? I'm 42, make a great living with a family. I feel like I'm just as broke as I was when I'm 19. Yeah, I'm like, no to Joe. No to Joe. I feel that, man. I feel that. And it does come from circumstance, and it's something that I've considered a lot. Like the house that I live in now, me and my wife have ummed and ahed a few times of, well, so that's the difference though, Parrot Press, right? F this off and smash it off your mortgage. If I was to take the 40,000 out of my business, because I'm already at the high tax bracket, I would end up getting about 18,000 of it out to actually pay off my mortgage, which would be negligible. Like it just wouldn't do anything. So it's one of those ones where it's actually like, it's not financially viable or smart to do that. Noisy Steve, thank you very much for the 44 months, man. Much appreciated. And so, yeah, I think my wife and I have talked 3 or 4 times. We've put our house on the market, then we've taken it back off, and we've put it back on, and we've taken it back off, because I think living mortgage free, I would rather live in a significantly smaller house with a far worse like set of luxuries in terms of like the house and stuff, and not have a mortgage. Because yeah, you even get taxed on paying off your mortgage early, Rob. Exactly. It's insane. Because I think if I had no mortgage, all of that money that I am spending on the mortgage can go to either saving to buy a bigger house, better house with no mortgage. You know, like, let's say for the sake of argument, your house is worth £100,000 and your mortgage is £1,000 a month, right? Just for the sake of argument. If you instead started living in a £30,000 house, right, with zero mortgage, you're saving £1,000 a month. which means after 70 months, you have saved the £70,000 discrepancy from your old house to your new house, but you now have that as income, as personal money, and you still have a £30,000 mortgage-free asset that maybe is even appreciated to 40 or 50,000. But what is a 30k house even? Okay, pay attention to the premise of understanding what I'm talking about here, not to what a 30k house is, because what is even a 100k house? It's about the principle of the math, right? Okay, let's say you have a £1 million house and you pay £10,000 per month mortgage, and instead you buy a £300,000 house and have no mortgage, right? Now, over the next 70 months, you save the £700,000 discrepancy, and you now have that in cash, and you can now go and buy a £1 million house mortgage-free. And all it took was 5 years of like living in a less area. Alternatively, if you are mortgage free in a way worse house, you have more money for experiences. You have more money for quality of life, like things, you know, like whether that be trips, a better car, maybe nights out, shopping, things like that, you know. But you also have more money for home improvements. So if you live in, let's say, £1 million house and you downgrade to a £300,000 or £400,000 house so you could be mortgage free, the knock-on effect of that is that you can then turn that £300,000 or £400,000 house into the palace that you want, because you're not tied down by a mortgage robbing you of everything you earn. When were the contender cards dropping crafts? Tuesday evening at some point. I used to be able to not afford most of the luxuries without saving for months. Now I'm in a situation where I can afford almost everything now and live freely and still choose not to. Yes, yeah, it is smart, but also there has got to come a point in people's lives where you're like, let me just enjoy my life. Do you know what I mean? Let me enjoy the money. We've looked at buying a bigger house, but why lumber us with a bigger mortgage, stamp duty, the crazy solicitor fee, etc. So that I want to wind down at 60, not work till I drop. Yeah, I feel you, Rich, and that's where like me and my wife are at, and like that's why we go back and forth a lot on the idea of selling this house and becoming mortgage free on a far smaller property, far cheaper property. Cheaper doesn't have to mean smaller, to be fair, because you know we live in an expensive area. We could probably go somewhere right out in the sticks and get a similar sized house for and still be mortgage free, but then you're out in the sticks, you know, you don't really want that. But that's one side of things. But then on the other side of things, my kids have grown up in this house, right? They know the area. My mother-in-law lives 2 streets over. My sister-in-laws live like 3 minutes drive away or 15 minutes walk away for the kids. My sister lives 5 minutes walk away from where I am. Like, we've got roots here and the kids love growing up here. And so then it comes to a situation of, do I want to put my kids through all of that for the sake of me wanting to be selfish with my time? And the answer always turns around and is no. And what my answer always becomes is, how can I work harder or work better to generate more income to the point where even this house can become mortgage free? So there is a genuine conversation in Belgium that buying a house is no longer beneficial and lifelong renting is better. Yeah, I get that completely. I don't think you're far off of being better to rent lifelong in the UK as well. I think renting is probably better. The only thing that becomes worse is when you die, you then don't have an asset to hand down. But whilst you're alive, your quality of life is probably better. Probably. Obviously, it's different circumstances in a lot of different areas of the country. Rent is almost double a mortgage payment, though. Again, I will then stand by that and say that's different, or for different parts of the country. Because for the properties that we've got that we rent out, the rent is Not double, let me tell you that. At least where you are. Yeah, it's definitely different up and down the country. You'll pay rent your whole life. Mortgage will stop after 20 to 30 years. Well, that's the idea, isn't it? That you get a 20, like what I think our mortgage was 25 years. But during, like, and this is where the mortgage companies fuck you, because they know that during that 20 to 30 years, circumstances are going to change. Something's going to go wrong, or sometimes worse, something's going to go right. And, you know, you're living in a 500K house, you get a promotion, your income comes in, I can upgrade. I can live in a 700 grand house, 750 grand house. That's awesome. Let me do that. Now you go up, then your company crashes and burns, not yours, but the company you work for that you got a promotion from crashes and burns. You get made redundant. Now you can't afford to pay your mortgage. Now you're fucked. Now, guess what you have to do? You have to move, you have to downsize. And guess what happens when you move and you downsize? You restart a new 30-year mortgage. Now you're going again for another 30 years from there. Do you think moving in and out of stakes is a bad move? In and out of stakes? What do you mean, Craig? When you rather have your parents live happily their entire life than be worse for you to able to inherit their stuff? Yeah, of course. But like, what we know to be the easiest thing to do and what we do as human beings are two entirely different things. As I'm saying to you, my life would be immensely better if I just bought a small house with no mortgage. But it's not just my life that would be impacted by that. You know, it's that same thing that people think is really easy to say to somebody in, let's say, a toxic relationship. Oh, just leave them. That's so easy to say. It's so hard to do. Stacks? Oh, do you think moving in and out of stacks is a bad move? Yes, I think that's a very bad move. It's ridiculous. My mum has worked her whole life, lost her job recently. Sister gave her 3,000 to help out with bills and food. Government tried to tax it, claiming it as income. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. You literally can't even gift somebody something now to help them out. And that's because they want you to go into debt. They want you to struggle, because that's when they start getting oh man, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And no government will fix it, because the problem isn't on the face of what we've got now. The problem is on the back of what has been built over the last century or longer, right? That's where the problems have started from. I think about this like periodically. The laws and legislations that were written many moons ago just have very little bearing to the reality of society today. And yet, because like big corps profit too much from it, nothing will change. The tax code is 22,000 pages long. That is insane. The whole thing is rotten from top to bottom. Yeah, it is. It is. It really is. Your mouth 1,500 and 2 hours 30 left. Yeah, £1,200. How much did his rare one of go for last year? $2,200. So it's still way lower than what it was at last year. Did you see the government trying to tax Jack Charlton's grandson? I think it was because he has his World Cup winning shirt. Is that right? That's insane. That's insane. If you owe 50k in loans but work in a low income area, you have your loans forgiven. You owe taxes on the amount forgiven. Do you actually? Oh my God. You know how you're like way too poor to pay your debt? We're going to forgive that debt. but you do owe us 10 grand in tax on it. The Jack Charlton thing wasn't real, by the way. It was a different player, and the Sun said it wasn't true. Oh, okay. Yo, what's up, Don Q? How you doing, man? Did you see the guy already completed contender streaks? Yeah. Yeah, it is encouraging. It is encouraging. It's good. I live in Switzerland. Gifts between families are tax-free. Spouses, grandchildren. Yeah, so like I've talked to my wife about moving abroad, right? For example, like the United Arab Emirates are doing a lot to bring kind of remote working people into their country. Their internet infrastructure has been improved massively. They've started housing projects and building projects to create like working towns where there's amenities and shops and restaurants and such, but the houses are laid out as such that it's not like a typical city, but it's actually like a carefully designed working town where you actually benefit, like you can work outside, because people are working from home for the most part. So it's not about offices per se, but it's about making your home your office. And then you've also got certain places that are good to live in if you're kind of even reasonably wealthy, and like I want to say like Bali or a place like that where you can like live like a king on such a small amount of like cost for living. I see all these people all the time that move to like these countries. Like Poland's one of the countries I've seen some people move to, but I see these people all the time. They move to these countries and the cost of living is just like a tenth of what it is in the UK, and they still have all the same like luxuries. It's still like they still have restaurants, and they still live in or near a town or a city. Like, and I've spoken to my wife a few times about, man, wouldn't it be cool for us to go and live where the cost of living or the tax, because like in Dubai, there's almost no tax. Like it's just so much more beneficial to live in Dubai. Now, there are a lot of reasons why you might not want to live in Dubai or in Bali or in United Arab Emirates or in Poland. There's a lot of reasons. It might be politically motivated. It might be kind of culturally motivated. It might be like climate motivation as to why you would or wouldn't want to live in these countries. But all of them offer better financial opportunities than the UK does. All of them. And that's insane. Hey, now I live in Qatar. What's Qatar like, Chickooks? It's like fuel companies rising their prices, claiming inflation, whilst they're sat there tripling their profits at the same time. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? In Italy, people are leaving because the amount of taxes we're being overloaded with make having a family just existing impossible. Yeah, it's very similar in the UK. My mate just moved to Dubai 2 weeks ago with his family for tax reasons. Also, his partner is a teacher, so they got major additional benefits. That's crazy, isn't it? That even happens within the UK. Up north, it's a way cheaper way of life. You can get a remote job. Yeah, and like obviously for my job, I'm lucky enough that we could go anywhere. But as I said, like that's where then circumstance, and this is true for a lot of people. If a human being was to be ultimately selfish, and I don't mean selfish to the point where it costs other people, but just selfish for themselves, I think people have a great opportunity to live a great life if they were just selfish for themselves. But if I was selfish for myself and said to my wife, right, that's it, I'm packing up and we're moving up to, whatever, Newcastle or even further north than that, or into Scotland where you could buy a castle for the price of a small flat in London. If I said, right, babe, I'm packing up, I'm shipping off up there because it's going to be better for me, then what? Either she's forced to come or we get a divorce. Okay, now we're divorced. Now my kids live in a broken home, in a broken marriage. Okay, then so we don't want that. So she's forced to move up there with me. She leaves all of her family down south. I leave all of my family down south. Now we're isolated with no family other than ourselves and our kids up north in an area we don't know, where it's like the climate's a lot worse. And the opportunity to see people we love has gone. Now we become miserable. We start fighting. We get divorced anyway. Okay, so for me being inherently selfish for myself, like the rest of my family suffers, whether that be my parents. My mum and dad are getting older. Lauren's mum and dad are getting older. They want to see their grandchildren. If we live up north somewhere, 3, 4, 5 hours drive away, how often are they going to get to see their grandchildren? So there's a lot more that goes into it other than, oh, just do it for the money. But the frustration comes from the fact that the government doesn't help, and they go out of their way to hurt. They go out of their way to take from people. Life lesson: live alone, never get married, then the problem won't happen. Yes, it happens. You're not wrong. But the thing is, I do think that's why a lot of marriages, where you see couples that are married for 10, 20, 30 years that then split up. And it's one of those things where it's like, you don't stay together for the kids per se, but you kind of do without even realizing it, And then once the kids leave and go and live their own lives and go to university or get their own jobs, get their own homes, like meet their own spouses and move in together, and you're left there with way less fallout of you making a selfish decision, that's when you get to say to somebody, I want to do this. Now I can. We've got no more burden of children. We've got no more burden. We've got no more financial burden for whatever reasons. And so I want to now make that change. And if the other person then says, well, I actually want to do that, then you actually sit there together and you realize, oh, shit. Turns out we're not compatible as companions, but we were compatible as parents. We were compatible as partners. We were compatible as maybe housemates, but you weren't compatible as companions. And that's why a lot of people end up splitting up after the kids leave, genuinely. Have a lot of friends that move to Qatar, Saudi, and the UAE. My mate in the UAE works in IT and makes almost 10 grand a month, and he tells me most days there's nothing to do at work. That's insane, isn't it? That is insane. I want to move abroad, worked in the USA in my early 20s and loved it, but my partner doesn't want to go abroad. But that's exactly what I mean, Rob. And here's where my mind is with things like that. And again, this is one of those things that's easier said than done, right? Do you think you owe it to yourself to live your best life? Or do you think you owe it to your partner to give her best life? And I don't think there's an easy or right answer to that. I don't think there's an easy or right answer to that. What's up, Quinny Pout? You had to redeposit net for new leagues? Yeah, I have once. Yeah, I will again today, probably. I think you have to meet in the middle to be fair. Would that be like the Atlantic Ocean or something? I don't know how you'd survive out there. I've read enough from off to the UAE. Work together, combine elements of both, make the best life as a team, family, etc. Greece it is. Yeah, Greece is probably a great place to live right now. You're going to be buying the big four leagues as well? I will be, mate. Yeah, I will be. I don't know. I'm in no rush to buy the big leagues. The first game doesn't kick off for another 2 weeks. So as a partner and a dad, you have to have their needs at heart, but you also need to make yourself happy as well. Yeah, and it's difficult. Do you know what would make it easier? The government not robbing every motherfucker that steps foot on this earth. That would make it a lot easier. Let me go grab a coffee, guys. Oh, right. We're back. Damn. Anyway, I don't know why I went off on that tangent, guys. Now, enough of me talking about being broke. Let's go and spend an ungodly amount of money on something that we really don't need in our lives. Oh, it all started off of tax, didn't it? Somebody asked about the tax side of whether the amount of money I'm going to be spending is going to be tax deductible. To answer the question in as short a terminology as possible, no, it is not. I'm a bit frustrated at these Eredivisie prices. Like I said to myself this time around, like, I don't want to throw money away. You know, I don't mind buying cards, especially if they're expensive and if it warrants it and if it makes sense. But I don't want to just piss it away. We established we do need it because we need to enjoy ourselves and Sorare's fun. That is very true. Yeah. When I'm on my deathbed, if I've got 40,000 in cash in my bank, but missed out on this opportunity to buy these NFTs, would I be happy with myself? No, I wouldn't. Is the wallet on Sorare secure? Yeah, it is, yeah. Maybe not Sorare, but what about FIFA expenses? Do you know what? The last few years, my FIFA expenses have been minimal. Like this year, for example, what did I buy for FIFA? I bought the game, £100. I bought the game for a viewer, £100. I probably spent no more than £500 on FC points. So my expenses for FIFA this year have been about £700 for the whole year. That would have come off the top line, but it would have been like negligible to the actual tax bill. What's life without a Hazard gallery? That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what we got to do. Yeah, let's have a look instead at the France 2, Bundes 2. What's coming this weekend? So Portuguese League I've already finished up. SPFL I've already finished up. Championship doesn't start this weekend, so I've got time on that. Jupiler Pro League I've pretty much finished up. Wouldn't mind having a little look here just to make sure, though. I know we're like quite deep on most of these squads. How are streaks going? Yeah, good. I'm on streak 4 on Contender, back down to streak 1 for SPFL. How much do you expect the amount to go for? 500 seems a bit crazy to me. Well, his one of last year went for like 550. I'd expect it to be maybe a little bit more than that. Yeah, Eredivisie is this weekend, but I think that's why their prices are so high, though, isn't it? Did you do any good in the leaderboard for the SPFL? No, I completed the first segment, the first like tier, and then I lost all 4 lives on the second stage, and so I'm back at stage 1. Wait, what? Why do I have a different Union Saint-Gilloise? Oh, Herve Coffee is here now. That's his one of as well. So yeah, I'm just back to square one with Celtic. So Celtic are gonna, instead of possibly picking me up like $20 or $100 or whatever, they're gonna instead pick me up 1,000 essence. Lucky me, am I right? Not paying more than that. Okay, I'm gonna have to close all of these down because I've obviously got it confirmed. I've obviously got it mixed up with some of the last season's ones. Was rollover day kind on it? I haven't looked yet. I was gonna record the videos today, but when I looked, I hadn't had any changes in anything. They hadn't aged or whatever. So I thought I'll do it tomorrow. Now I'll do my end of season content tomorrow. All right. So with these guys, I already bid on him. These guys we just did right there. Mechelen, Van Breda. UNEP, have you kept buying second Bundes cards? They went up like 50 to 100% since Friday. I have not, no. It's so interesting this year with the way Sorare is, though, because like, do you wait? how, like, I suppose the question isn't do you wait? The question is how long do you wait? And with anytime entry being there and the multi-steps being available, how much do you miss out on truly by waiting? Jesus Christ, what's he creeping for? Damn, fair enough. Only got hit by 4 new retiring guys. That's pretty cool. Seems best waiting 2 to 3 days. First minutes are expensive, and the week the Liga start, yes, prices seem to be rising. Well, that's what I mean with like where the conundrum is now, because last year, without any time entry and without multi steps, it's kind of like you just committed to your stuff and then you was done. But this year, people are going to be buying in and out of cards left, right, and center because everybody's going to be in a different. Everyone's going to have the different opportunities throughout the course of the game week to succeed. And so I am curious to kind of like learn if the prices now after that first game week settle down or spike up. You know, SPFL, for example, it was rough going. It was hard for people to hit to hit any target because the points just weren't there in the league this weekend. And so off the back of that, are SPFL prices going to go down, or are people already like too far gone, too committed that actually next weekend they're going to buy more players and invest in more cards and try and find a new, like, I don't know. I don't know if the card prices are going to start ticking down straight away or not. Missed the first streak SPFL, one bad lineup, I cancelled one, couldn't reuse those players in the lineup. Yeah, you can't cancel. You can't cancel. FOMO is so big, people just buy and hope to sell during the weekend with profit is my guess. I do think a lot of people are doing that, yeah, especially when you see the player prices of some of the players that played this weekend on Instabuy absolutely flying when they've been announced to start. I think a lot of people are buying cards to wait for them to be listed as starters to sell them. And I think that's dangerous. I think that's a bit of a recipe for disaster, that is. Tian Ne Koren. What a great name. Just had a brief look at the most expensive players in each league so far. Most of the first mints go for the highest price. Then mints 5 to 15 are considerably more cheaper than mints 20 plus. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? What's the deal with Tresoldi? I still don't like his price has just been creeping, even though there's been rumours of him leaving. That's quite mad, isn't it? This guy's a new player into the team. Titrawi. See, 20. I just feel like £20 for Titrawi is crazy. He's just not that good of a scorer. Titrawi. Good thing for you is that the Wolfsburg is a single game this week, so you can streak easier and faster. Yeah, I don't think I'll overpay for Bundesliga 2, though, because obviously I have enough cards from Croatia and Austria to be able to take care of the streaks still. I do want the French League cards and I do want the Bundesliga 2 cards because the timings of the games, like, I think there is a world... Oh, yeah, Tetrawi is off to Lens, isn't he? Yeah. I think there is a world where you can hit that top streak twice in a weekend. You'd probably have to already be up there on the Friday night. You know, if you're already on stage 3 or stage 4, and then you hit Friday night, a Saturday morning, a Saturday lunch, boom, you've done it. Then you do a Saturday evening, a Saturday night, a Sunday morning, a Sunday lunch, a Sunday evening, a Sunday night, boom, you've done it again. I do think there's a world because there's so many teams and so many games. It will just be about the timings of the games. Do you know, I don't, with those contender leagues, what the timings of the game starts are? Yes, yeah. So like France 2 is typically 7:45 in the evening on Saturdays and Sundays. Austria and Croatia seems to just be throughout the days. And then from what somebody told me is that Bundesliga 2 kicks off at like, what, 11 a.m.? Now, 11 a.m. is banging for getting those first streaks in and getting yourself like pushed through a stage or two. Are La Liga cards on crafting? No, not until after the first game week of La Liga games, which is still a long time away. Did I see the guy who already hit Streak 6 in Sorare? I did, yeah. It's really cool, isn't it? Jesus, he's getting up there. Ile Kramara. Are you planning on saving all your essence until the main leagues are in crafts? No. No, I can't. I won't be able to do that. Otherwise, I'll miss out on the wheel spins. Oliver Ant-Man. I actually think I already have an Ant-Man from this season. I just don't know that I want to put £37 into him. It's like almost double what he was selling in those mints there. And it's because you can see, like, look how like often he was being minted, and now look how rare he's being minted. Like, they've slowed right down. Do you think you'll make most from Contender or any other league? I think probably I think La Liga is one of the best options for the returns, because Barcelona and Real Madrid almost never play together, or never play together very possibly. And I think there's enough quality in some of the other teams to hit those mid streaks reasonably comfortably. How come you don't play FC 26 anymore? I do. I was confident no one would outbid me on the Anderlecht second keeper. Along comes Nep. Yo, enjoy your free ticket, man. Enjoy your free ticket. Speaking of tickets, 2,800 at the moment. Just open the Rangers one to get the Anderlecht one when you can. Ways to buy another one. That goes against the principles of buying one of everything, I'm afraid. Are Conference League qualifiers covered? Some of them are, I think, yeah. Not all of them, though. Someone should put a spreadsheet of the different leagues and which league has the most kickoff times. Have you had any confirmation on when the wheel ends? No. Just what that guy said about what the people said. Like, I'm just very confident that they won't keep the wheel past when top 4 crafts are available. So for this upcoming weekend, SPFL I'm calm with. Portuguese League we're all but done. Pro League we're all but done. Eredivisie, do I have enough in the Eredivisie to like get going? I mean, I don't know how many of these keepers are like starters. But I also do have plenty of classic keepers to get going. The wheel should be out for the main leagues, though, right? What do you mean should be out for the main leagues? 6 starter goalkeepers. So I've got plenty to start working on those first stages. Is it 500 for your Mal? No, still only 473. I honestly don't think you will see it tick up much more than here, because people would have already come in and just thrown in a bid that they like, their top bid sort of thing. Cash on stage 2 is nice. Yeah, it is. Yeah. You got Jensen, I saw, who starts Friday, so that's a start. That's good. I do need to start today actually tracking my rewards. I know they got put on here. But this doesn't track everything, does it? It doesn't track the... it doesn't track the streak rewards. It only tracks the like main rewards, which this week so far is actually looking quite nice. How much do you need to start Sorare ideally? It really just depends on what you want out of it. So we're online right now for 38,000 essence. Not too much there. This is quite fun. Obviously, still got Celtic to go, so we might lose some essence there. We might drop down into the 4,000 or 2,000 range. Ended up 225th here with a DMP. God damn, man, that's unlucky. Ended up 22nd here. No cash here, but 12,000 essence is big. That is big. And then 1,000 essence there as well, and 1,000 essence there as well. Here we're projected like maybe like 1,000 or 2,000 essence. So overall, it's good. $12K essence is better than the low cash rewards in my opinion. I do agree. I do agree. Will the essence one this game week be Sorare 27? Yeah, all essence is Sorare 27 now. Apart from the fact if you actually craft something, you have it's only MLS and J League cards from or K League cards from Sorare 26. Is the leaderboard now anytime entry as well? Only the arena, the OG arena. And I don't know. I know you don't know if you talked about this. I think EA won't let players use bronze players and silver players to do SBCs. Yes, some SBCs will be minimum capped, but some of them won't be for sure. How do we get the spreadsheet? You don't. I didn't even make it myself. Somebody made it, and is just using the API to like scrape the information. Yeah, I do. I need to. I want to make like a spreadsheet. Maybe I'll use Cloud and just put it, like pop it into Cloud and just tell it everything I've earned, so that it could kind of like differentiate. But like, I want to make sure that I'm tracking the earnings straight away. And so obviously for SPFL, I've picked up 1,000 essence for rewards already. But for Contender, we actually picked up a bonus reward here. We picked up a 5% boost. So we've got 1,050 essence here in the first one. Then we got $4 in the third stage and 2,000 essence here. So already hit like 3,050 essence and $4. So the DMP you had there, I guess he had a mid or a forward as your sub. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Once all leagues are going, you could be getting over 50,000 essence a week, but like maybe even more. Wasn't there another fantasy game you used to play where you managed a team through a league? Yeah, MFL. I still play that. My collection missions aren't working for League of Portugal. I have 3 in-season players, 1 on auctions, and it shows I have 0 out of 19 players. Is that right? Somebody said that about the other day as well. I'm gonna like, I remember like this time last week, I was just bidding on hundreds of players. Like I kept getting like timed out on the site, being like too many requests and stuff. I like the prices are just skyrocketing so much now that it's like even for what I want to do, it's like almost unjustifiable. We still need to, for the minor leagues, we still got SPFL is almost done. Austrian Bundesliga is basically done. Still got a fair way to go in the Championship. Croatia is done. Got a fair way to go in the second Bundesliga. Portugal's nearly done. Pro League is nearly done. Got a fair way to go in Eredivisie. Haven't even started France 2. It's Yeah, I don't know how many cards there are in each one, but England 2 have got 175 of probably, what, about 800 cards. Thanks, Rypal. Does Vault count for streaks now? No, it doesn't. Would have been nice, wouldn't it? Do you think you'll swap some limited essence for rare essence? Yeah. So I already have like 2,000 rare essence. I took my MLS rewards for rare essence instead of limited essence. Are you planning on crafting weekly when all leagues are out and selling the stuff you get, or will you keep crafts? It depends. It depends. If the player is a star, or a guaranteed starter, or a guaranteed non-starter, they'll be sold straight away. If the player is more of a rotation player, they will be sold when lineups are out and they're listed in the lineups, most likely. Maybe I'll sell it all straight away, I don't know. Looking at second Bundes prices, I think you shouldn't buy now, to be fair. I stopped as well. Stick to the 15 players I have right now and buy once they drop again. Yeah, and so for Bundes 2 and France 2, as much as I do want the cards, I have Croatia and Austria to play in these streaks. So I'm in no rush now. And when I do start crafting next Tuesday, what's the odds on me picking up loads of players that I don't already have, right? How do you know which essence will be used to enter into arena? So if you click on your essence and then you click on balance, this is the next essence that will be spent. So for me, it's just all-star for ages. So your next X essence that you would need to spend will be in there. Would it not be better to not buy all contender leagues since you already have a lot of teams and players? The reason why I will buy them all, the two reasons. First of all, because I have committed to it. And that's literally like part of reason number one. Reason number two is because when you look at the start times of games, you get a few games on Friday night, which will be nice to start streaking. Then on Saturdays, as you can see here, France is all at 7:45. It doesn't stay like this. I think it's just because it's the first weekend. But France will have like 3 or 4 games each Saturday and Sunday night, which will be really handy. Austria is at 4 and 6:30. Bundesliga 2 is all at midday with the odd game at the night. And then Croatia will be throughout the day again. So when looking at what times can we get games in, you can get games at 12 o'clock, go up a tier. You'll be able to get games at 3 o'clock because I think that postponed game was 3 o'clock. You'll be able to get a game at 2:30 or 3 o'clock, go up again. Then you've got games at 5:30. Then you've got games at 7:45. Like, there are so many times. Yeah, 4 o'clock in the Austrian league, beg your pardon, not 3 o'clock. There's so many times for games that moving through the streaks will be... like, you should have a lot more opportunities to move through the streaks, basically. Can I put rare cards into the arena? Yes. Yes, you can. Do you think you should have a thing that tells you your player... if they should have a thing that tells you if you own the player already after your craft? Yeah, you should. I think they should put that on there. The only thing you could check that might really be worth it for you is looking at Wolfsburg kickoff times and what streak level you might be at that time. Yeah, so like, is it Wolfsburg on Friday? No. When did Wolfsburg play their first game? Are they on Sunday? Or maybe even Monday? What's up, Mike Baston? How you doing, man? Not even on Sunday. Not even on Monday. Wait, when did they play? Did I just miss... did I miss them? They're definitely not on Friday. Saturday evening. Oh, yeah, there you go. 7:30, yeah. Yeah, so looking at the streak that I'm on now, if I could look to get up through here and here by Saturday evening, Saturday at 7:30, and so see these 4 games here, I think that's a good opportunity for a life. Like, obviously, with Karlsruhe having a Wanetzek, from Magdeburg having an Attic, Darmstadt, I can't remember who it is from them that they've got a good player from. Haven't Heidenheim got a really good matchup there on Osnabrück, like quite poor? Like, I could easily use one of the lives from some of these German teams on the Saturday at 2, and then use one of the other lives from the Friday games, Bochum Hertha or Altach Tirol. I don't really like those, but Darmstadt players left. It's random who they might play good. Oh, I see. But I do think like it might even be worth using 2 lives and having 2 kind of splits between the teams here, or 1 live from these guys and then see, Osijek would be too risky because there's only 2-hour time window between the 2 games. Yeah, maybe Austria Lustenau, but I'm not even interested there. It's going to have to be this 12 o'clock kickoffs as like the priority to try and move me up. But then it actually looks like it that I would struggle to get up through the next stage to have Wolfsburg as the last stage. Wolfsburg might end up having to be this stage here. Since you're an in-season contender, you could just use classic Attic, Wanezek, Risto. Yeah, could, yeah. Heidenheim just relegated. Osnabrück just promoted. Let's see how far I got. I've got Osnabrück set up. Okay, I got a decent amount of Heidenheim players. I don't know if I got many of the starters. I got the goalkeeper by looks of things. I'm probably missing the starters, mind you. Dude used 2 classic cards in an in-season leaderboard. No, they would have still been in season. Would you consider to play Wolfsburg on the level you're on now? No, I think there's good value in the games before. I think the Bundesliga 2 games, Manika and Zivizavade should be good. Yeah, so with the goalkeeper as well. And then what other games did we have there? So yeah, Magdeburg and Karlsruhe. Who did I buy from those teams? I don't think I got any. Oh, I got a few Magdeburg players. So I've actually got an in-season Wanezek. So I can use Wanezek in season with like Attic Classic. It's interesting. His price hasn't. I thought prices were spiking. How come Wanezek hasn't picked up? I got an Attic in season already as well. That's banging. Which means I can use Attic, Wanezek. Yeah, see, I picked him up and he's spiking now. I can use Attic, Wanezek, the Heidenheim goalkeeper and defender, and then any classic. Let me actually put it in to see what it would look like. So Hyde. So who's the goalkeeper for Heidenheim? Who's their starter? Is it this fella? Oh, that's great. So we put in Fella, and then we put in this guy, Menka, right? And then in midfield, I mean, in midfield, so Wanezek doesn't have a great matchup. Is that important? I've got Kitishvili. I think he's expected to start. Oh, wait, that's on Saturday at 6:30. That's too late. I need the Bundesliga. Right, let's actually type Bundes and get the Bundesliga teams in here. Oh, is Attic a forward this year? Oh, it might have been a forward last year as well, to be fair. Right, let's go and put Attic in then. Fella, Minka, Wanezek, Attic is very strong. I'm just better off typing his name, aren't I? It's not showing just the Bundesliga players anyway. Or the Bundes 2 players, should I say. it's bugged out because it's showing me the same, like just the same players that just keep rotating. So Attic goes in there. Then let's have a look at the classics. We've got an Attic. We've got Cisse from St. Pauli. Don't really have too many. It's not showing me just Bundesliga players again. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Zukowski with Attic. This guy. Is he a midfielder? No, he's another forward. And then here it would just have to be NepentheZ, wouldn't it? It's interesting because this NepentheZ is only on 8%, but this NepentheZ is on 9%. I could easily get him up to like 11% based on getting that collection score up to 5%. Austrian League is called Bundesliga 2. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, that's why they're showing up. Yeah. Would it be like I'm not sure that NepentheZ would be the play here. This is my exact lineup for this stage, mate, except I'm going classic rare Mitrita as he's 12:30 in China. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, I mean I've got Texiera at 12 o'clock. Who else have we got? No one really. Got Romulo at 1 o'clock. Now Romulo's been very hit and miss for a long time, but the last game was a big hit. He hasn't been hitting his scores for a long time. He was a Donny boy back in the day. Even after his ACL injury, he was the Donny boy. I've got no Barco, no. I think NepentheZ is fine as long as not captain him. He's been good in pre-season. So you only get one card out of this collection to add as a classic. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Why aren't you playing FC26? I'm playing Sorare right now. Yeah, I think Grats only kick off at like 6:30 though. Yeah, so that'd be too late for the 7:30 or 8 kickoff whenever that. Yeah, the 7:30 kickoff here. I wouldn't want to use any of these Sturm Graz players because obviously I want to pass this level so that I can get. Hopefully I could pass this level to use a Sturm Graz stack against Hartberg and then also use a Wolfsburg stack against Kaiserslautern. Does rare, but yeah, the rare booster rewards at this level as well. But I wouldn't force a rare in now for like $20 to win an extra like $2. Like I think that would be. I think that'd be like just unless I used my rare NepentheZ because I've actually got 9% on him. And I've only got 8% on the limited NepentheZ, but I can probably get the limited NepentheZ to 11 or 12% a lot quicker than I can get this rare NepentheZ to anything. I think we'll do that. And I think Attic's going to be the captain. That is a really good lineup, isn't it? And I can get some more bonus points on getting those collections up to 5% as well. And I can get these guys up to level 2 by the time the game kicks off as well. So that'll be the aim now, getting these bonuses up, 5% collections on these guys, and 2% XP on these guys. And that'll be the play. And then we've got room for another team. And this is what I was saying, like, when we look at the next team, is it within 72 hours yet? No. When we look at the next team, we've got Heidenheim. We've already used their goalkeeper. You'll be able to get Cloud to create you something easy to read and plan out fixtures for each week. Yeah, probably, yeah. Is there an opportunity, in your opinion, in classic rare JPL cards? Or not really? I'm not going to tell you to go and buy things to try and flip them or trade them, man. Like that, like you're going to have to make that decision for yourself, I'm afraid. So who here? Yo, Mahmood. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Nep, kindly check SPFL third place in season leaderboard. 2 classics are used there. Is there something I don't understand? Yeah, it has been explained to you a few times in the chat there. But cards only become classic once so it'll be this guy here, Fadinger. Oh no, it'll be this guy here, Paulson. So he's probably a classic. Fadinger is probably an actual classic. These 3 are in seasons because they're from the new season. Alex Paulson is in season because Bournemouth haven't played a game yet. So once Bournemouth play their first fixture, all of the Bournemouth cards then become classic cards from in season. So Alex Paulson, by all accounts, is still a in season card. It tells you if you click. Oh, does it actually tell you if you click into the card? Does it? Card details. Oh yeah, there you go. In season until August 10th. So there's still 1 more week. So this guy can use him as an in season again next. It's 11 days before the first game. Okay, there you go. So he can use him again next weekend as well as an in season card. What am I buying for? 25. And he was selling for 36. Oh, I'm just good at the game, baby. As a secondary setup here, what was the Friday games? Altac against Tyrol. Is there any particular favourites on those? Altac are slight favourites, but not nearly enough for me to be creaming over getting them into a team. And then Boschum against Hertha. Boschum also slight favourites, but not nearly enough. Then we've got Graza. Are slight favourites as well. And then, yeah, it's just Heidenheim. So Heidenheim, are any of these guys, either of these 2 expected starters for Heidenheim? I'm going to guess no. Then we've got Darmstadt against Kiel. Tyrol lost a few players, are generally meh. Timon Wiener. Huh. Wiener. Although Holstein Kiel, so there's no favourites there either. And then Braunschweig. Some fantastic names here. So Magdeburger, reasonable favourites there. And then Bielefeld against Karlsruhe. It's one of those ones where actually I think maybe Arminia Bielefeld are decent because they're away from home, but it's one of those ones where I actually don't think I'll use the third life here until after those Saturday lunchtime games are done. And if I don't succeed with this team, it will be Wolfsburg that become my 4th life. Because the last thing I want to do is put, like, I want to move up. Do you know what I mean? No, mate. Best planning contender this week is 12 on Saturday, 7:30 on Sunday, then maybe 12 on 7:30 on Saturday, then 12 on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah, so leaving 1 life if those ones don't work well, and then attacking using Wolfsburg in here if these guys don't succeed, but then having Wolfsburger's first life in here, if those guys do succeed. Yeah, I will do, Frank. Yeah, for sure. Now, all we have to focus on then is the collections for Heidenheim, Karlsruhe, and such. So we start working on getting these bad boys in. Rotkiv Dido, thank you very much for the 10 months, man. Much appreciated. Much appreciado. If set taught us anything, it's once you get to cash streaks, not to rush lives away. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Oh, what's that? Is that going to be what it looks like when we're playing like properly? Damn, man. You telling me that's automated? No way, man. Let's see if we could just... I don't actually need these players just yet, so just picking up the kind of like bottom feeders to get myself a few bits of XP. I'm going to need a lot more cards, mind you. Wolfsburg, mad expensive though. We'll have a look how many of them I've got. Those streams are going to pop off. They are. You have a Reese Classic at least. Yeah. I will indeed have a Reese Classic. Let's go and have a look at the Wolfsburg Collection. I think that might have been the one. Yeah, I haven't started them at all. I've got a classic Wellenreuther rare. That might be a smarter play. Wait, isn't Wellenreuther injured for the first game? He's injured for up to 2 months. Oh, dear. Oh, do I have a classic Grabara? I do have a classic Grabara. Rare level as well. He's leaving, not playing as well. So who's going to be the goalkeeper? Pervan. Grabara, Vavro, all going to leave. Oh, interesting. Kielinski or Pervan will play. I think I have a Kielinski as well. I don't. Zielinski, sorry. Zielinski is meant to be number 1. They have so many players. Jesus Christ. And then we start picking up the bottom feeders here as well to start building it. Start getting that XP boost. Then is Vavro the GOAT? He is. Any interested in new Tarkov content or streaming it? Probably not, mate. No. Right. Who are the stars then? Hornby. I've got a classic Hornby, mind you. Fabian Reese. Probably smart to use my classic Fabian Reese at the start. If he's going to be 75 quid. Christian Eriksen. Is he staying? Reese, Glatzel, and Damar. Yeah, these guys are expensive. Grabara cancelled his apartment a few days ago before the second relegation battle. Utterly crazy. Wow, that's mad. Hornby is from Darmstadt. Did really good there. Yeah, I have a classic Hornby from last season, obviously. Wall is best defender. I think I have like classic rares of like all of these cards. Oh, it's a limited of Wall. That's obviously in the Bundesliga. He's done all right, hasn't he? So Kulirakis already gone to Roma. So it would be £20 for Wall, 15 at least for him, 35. Reese I'd use classic. Glatzel would be probably another 45, so like 70, 80 quid. And then one midfielder. Who would be the midfielder? Salza. Another 20 quid. Demar more offensive. Salza clear DM. Or another 30 quid for him. It's going to cost me about £100 to put the Wolfsburg starters together, and that's excluding Reese and excluding getting the other players for like collection score and stuff. That's one of those ones where, is it even worth it? Is it worth overpaying that much to try and hit the target? Mazurs, thanks for the 100 bits, brother. Net, what would you consider a good starting budget in Sorare? It really does just depend on your expectations. Like, if you just want to play, then I think Classic is a really good spot. You can play some Classic comps, you can play the Arena comps, and even 30 or 40 euros or dollars or pounds would be a good enough budget. If you want to get involved in the in-season stuff and you want to be able to play the leaderboards, I'd still probably say you're looking at maybe like $75 to $100 or euros or pounds. If, however, you want to get involved in like the streaks, I think you're probably going to be looking at £200 or £300 to get involved. But of course, if you use !Sorare, sign up with that link, you'll get £150, dollars or euros worth of market credits for signing up. They are clearly the best team in the league odds-wise, 6-4 to win the league. Not on their first game of the season. You don't know how they're going to play or anything. Yeah, like obviously for a lot of these guys are like Bundesliga pedigree as well. How many of them are going to leave, right? You can use Osijek with Reese Classic instead. Yeah, because haven't Osijek got like a really favourable matchup? Because they're against Rudez, who, even though they only lost 2-1, they got battered in that last game. I don't know how heavy the favourites they are, but it must be pretty heavy. I could use as well like some Heidenheim. Like some of the Heidenheim players that I've got. Have we got any? None of the goalkeepers, obviously. But like some of these guys are going to be starting, surely. Zivizadze will be playing, right? Doesn't Neuhaus, the German midfielder, doesn't he play like most of the time? Yeah, Rudez a whack. Osijek would have to throw the game on purpose. How did somebody said before that they were so bad last time they were in the league, they set a record for like the worst performance ever. How do they keep getting promoted? Costly should start. Marcel Costly. So if I put 2 forwards against the newly promoted sides, put the Osijek, an Osijek midfielder and defender. Isn't Barisic a half-decent defender? I recall. Didn't he used to play for one of the Dinamo squads? Oh, he played for Trabzonspor. Played in a Turkish league. Interesting. Fairly tough matchup with many Kaiserslautern fans away from Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg has a new manager who comes from the 3rd division, where his former team played really good football. If we go Ossie, so put him there. I'm just like having a little look at what fun we could have with, who was it? Heidenheim. And then what classics would I have that would play before the Saturday nights? Could even use a rare classic Wanazek in here as well. I don't think he's strong enough for it. I mean, I could put the Fabian Reese rare in as well and have another one. Texiera. He's just not hitting, man. He had a period where he was doing really good. A couple of periods where he's done really good, but these last games, he's just not been it. He's against bottom team. Which of these would you take, though? Texiera or Fabian Ruiz in this context? I think Fabian Ruiz has better potential. And then we go Heidenheim. So whichever player starts out of these midfielders, Neuhaus is pretty good. And then if we went for an Osijek, just something like this. This is not like a definitive, but something like this would also be a good opportunity to hit that fourth stage. Have I got? No, I haven't got many Zenit players left anymore. Not these days. Not these days. That's two not bad lineups, to be fair. Not even not bad, but like good. Let's just get these on the go just in case. Again, it's looking at, let's say we actually achieve 420. What are we going to look at for 440? Because I don't think buying Wolfsburg right now is the smart play. Barisic is no longer in Osijek. I would use Meinke from Heidenheim. Oh, as a defender. Oh, yeah. Well, I've already put him in one of the teams anyway. I don't think I had another one. Unless this guy's expected to start. Picarda. I have to use one of the Osijek. Did they not say you can preset teams for streaks above? Yeah, I don't think it's ready yet. But in terms of like playing for that next tier, it would be a French League 2 setup. So we've got Grenoble Foot. I think, is it Saint Etienne? I can't remember who the 4 teams are. But is there a good mix of players here? Jurisic is a starter for Osijek at fullback. Doesn't have to be a fullback, just has to be a starting defender. And I can change it based on when the lineups come out, right? Nantes, Saint Etienne, and Grenoble. So Nantes are at home to Red Star. Grenoble are away. Saint Etienne are away to Sochaux. Saint Etienne will smash. What was the other one? Reims. Away to Clermont. And so then we could use maybe even just 1 or 2 lives. If I get all of these French League 2 teams, 1 or 2 lives if we manage to make it through to the 440. And then we could also Sturm Graz could be that first shot as well, because they could have a big game themselves. Ignore Wolfsburg for this upcoming weekend. Ignore the Croatian League, unless I've had to reset and Osijek. Oh no, Croatian League's already in there anyway, isn't it, with the Osijek teams? What time does Osijek kick off? 5:30. It's risky. It's risky. It's risky having the Osijek players in here because they kick off at 5:30, which would mean the 6:30 Sturm setup wouldn't be usable. So then the question is, do I use Sturm Graz in here instead of these guys? And then if the answer is yes, the next thing to consider is we then wouldn't be able to use France 2 in the next life. I would just wait for Wolfsburg. But I don't think I'm going to be using Wolfsburg. They are just way too expensive right now. So much football coming this weekend, guys. We just got to be prepared. I think this lineup here has got to be removed and has got to be a Sturm Graz life, or possibly waiting until the Sunday games. If Sturm aren't strong enough, and I don't want to buy Wolfsburg because they're too expensive right now, what's happening on Sunday? Salzburg against the Whack Pellets. Is there a good enough... Oh, Rapid Vienna and Salzburg as a kind of a split stack could be quite fun. St. Pauli against Firth. Nuremberg against Dresden, not interested. They're a bit too late. These two games are interesting. The 4 p.m. kickoffs on the Sunday. And the 6 p.m. as well for Lask against Austria Vienna. But I did 3 out of 6 contender streaks. Really want to get to the last one. More in before Dynamo play Rodez on the 15th. Hanover versus Cottbus. Good for the Hanover stack. Are Cottbus newly promoted, are they? Lask Vienna should be a good one. Austria was poor. St. Pauli should be solid. Cottbus Hanover on a Sunday. Yeah, so there's some good games to not rush. Like basically, like this lineup is here. If this lineup succeeds, we've got other good options. But there's some good options to not rush. And what that also then opens up for us next weekend is to actually put some quite strong teams in leaderboards. Because if we're going to be ignoring those games... What's up, Ollie? How you doing, man? If we're going to be ignoring those games, we'll have some value in the leaderboards off of them. I am going to have to create something with Cloud to kind of like... I almost just need a spreadsheet that kind of showcases matchup clashes and stuff. Cottbus have Jonas Hoffmann and Bittencourt on their books. Today, actually. Jonas Hoffmann was once the primary scorer of points on Sorare, especially for home games. And then he got bought by Leverkusen, and they ruined him. Dresden are kind of the dark horse to get promoted. Do you think you'll suffer from choice paralysis at some stage? I think I am now, yeah. No, they don't. Hoffman is still at Leverkusen. I thought that was a different Jonas. Oh, it's a different Jonas Hoffman, is it? Fair enough. Just same name. Yeah, because right now, like the choice paralysis comes in for this one, especially with only, one life left after this team is, do I risk it with a French League 2 setup? Do I risk it with a Sturm Graz setup? Do I risk it? Do I go all in and buy Wolfsburg players and risk that? Do I risk it with Osijek because Rudez are apparently that bad? Like, there's already a lot of things to consider. See, they didn't get battered that much. I know we're going to look at 29 shots there, but only 4 big chances and only 2.33 XG. I'm playing contender this year, mate, and I'm working on a spreadsheet for fixture pairings and matchups. Would you like me to share when done? Oh, hell yeah, James. That'd be great. Someone will be able to create you a sheet from the API with your games and times from the players you own. I might have to get Josh onto that. This is what I said to you last week. The thing that will be the hardest is fighting the FOMO / what if. It's going to be so hard to figure out who to play where. Yeah, it will be. It will be. It'll be harder in Contender because there's a lot more smasher teams and a lot more games to FOMO out of. It'll be a lot easier, like looking at, for example, the Portuguese league. Let's go to the... is it like taken off Portuguese league for my favourites again? Let's go to Friday. Looking at the Portuguese league, for example, you've got Famalicão. That's easy for number one. Then on the Saturday, I'm assuming that Famalicão take us through that first streak. Then it's like, this is first life. This is second life. This is third and fourth life. There's no choice paralysis there. If you manage to hit streak 2 with one of these, then this is first life. This is second and third life. This becomes fourth life. If you manage to hit streak 2 with this team here, this is first and second life. This is third and fourth life. If you manage to go 1, 2, 3, you've then got 2 lives at streak 4 with Sporting and 2 with Porto. If you hit it with Sporting, then you've got Porto and Benfica. Then with Benfica, you've got these games, and then I don't think you play this game, like, unless you're back down to square one. Like, there's a lot of good value in Liga Portugal. A lot of good value. There won't be much choice paralysis here. There won't be many occasions where you're like, oh, do I hold or do I whatever? And then the next week, what have you got? Sporting. Yeah, like a day like this might be a day where you have to say to yourself, I'm just not touching these. Like, I've got through Sporting with Vitória. I've then got Porto. Then I've got Benfica with a good matchup and Famalicão at the same time with a good matchup. I'll hold tight for those ones. Like, there's a lot. It is a lot easier in single league comps to kind of wade through the setups. I watched the game live. Rudez was so bad. If Rijeka had been clinical, they could have scored 5. It'll be something to think about. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Obviously, this upcoming week, we've also got the JPL. So Bruges against Kortrijk. I don't even know if I have a team for those. Who's Bruges' goalkeeper? Oh, Braga me. Do you think only having one league and contender could work? Yeah. Obviously, you got to take into consideration that Croatia and Austria have their mid-season break that's quite long. It's like a month long. It'll be Sommer in goal, won't it? Then it'll be Mr. Brandon Machele. It's almost... do you know what I probably will do? Do you know what I probably will do? Who's going to be their other starter? Who's expected out of all of these to start? CK, the defender. Germany has a bit of a winter break too, albeit not as long. Sabe might start. Or Donez at centre-back, is it? Says he'll start. I will probably put this team into leaderboards. And then what I'll do is the other Bruges players that start, I will play in the... lineup with some Kortrijk players. So we'll use the Kortrijk goalkeeper, whoever that may be. And then I'll fit in the other starters. So yeah, this lineup will probably go in leaderboards because it's such a shame that Bruges are step 1, isn't it? You'd want them to be a bit later. Then step 2, Liège against Cercle Bruges, Saint-Truden against Lommel. That's a good possible lineup to hit that $6 with. You know, I'll use 1 life with Standard Liège against Cercle Bruges, and then I'll use one life with Saint Truden and 1 life with Union Saint Gilloise, and hopefully hit 1 and at least 2 through Saturday. Then on Sunday, Sporting Charleroi not bad. Anderlecht's not bad. Antwerp have got a promoted team to play against. Yeah, I could see myself hitting that top streak by Sunday. I could see myself winning $5,000 on Sunday. Do you have a Summer Classic? I don't know. Only in season. Forb had some rumours, does he? Where's this Lamine? See, I had a feeling he wouldn't tick up much more. Let me be right back. Alrighty then. Hello, Net. What leagues can you craft tomorrow? Scottish League, Austrian Bundesliga, and Croatian League. I don't think it's worth spending, like, when it comes to the league hierarchy, the 3 leagues that come tomorrow will give you the least return for your essence. I do think waiting for Eredivisie, Jupiler Pro League, Bundesliga 2 is a really smart play, because those prices seem to be high enough that if you craft someone of value, you're going to make a decent chunk of money. And then, of course, you know, crafting when the big boys are in will be the best thing to do, I would say. It is getting a little bit already, like, you know, this weekend was quite easy because there weren't many decisions to make. I was on streak 1 everywhere. There was obvious matchups. I had all the players. But for next week, it's like, I'm not on streak 1 everywhere anymore. There are some obvious matchups, but loads of matches. And I don't have all of the players. And I think that's the thing that's bothering me the most right now, is that I could have put in a bit more effort to get those players a bit earlier. But the process was taking me hours. If you only have All-Star Essence, does that mean you can craft all leagues from it? Yes. Yeah, so if you've got All-Star Essence, I would wait until Premier League and stuff is in as well, just to give yourself that chance of hitting a Prem player. So even this, like, look at that. We're getting outbid on these, like, nothing players. Not Unnestall's not nothing, but glad I've been outbid on him. Maybe not. Look at that. Even like Dan Rott's £34. Like, the Eredivisie is going crazy. It is going crazy. And I like, whilst on the one hand, I think to myself, these prices are going crazy because it's cash stage 2. And people are looking at, like, let's say, you know, Excelsior Canberra, you can reasonably expect to get past the first stage with a setup there. Then you've got Nijmegen, that, yeah, okay, you can reasonably expect to get past that second stage. Go Ahead Eagles against Willem 2, you'd use a life there, but PSV, you could reasonably expect to get past that third stage. AZ, you wouldn't be able to use on the same window. Oh, actually, you wouldn't be able to, you'd only be able to get 2 stages out of this if you used Eagles and Alkmaar, but then I don't think you'd be able to do that. So maybe you couldn't. Maybe from all 3 of these games, you could reasonably expect to get through this this $10 stage, but no more than that. Then you go to the Sunday games. You got Feyenoord, 11-15. You could reasonably expect to get past this stage. Then you got Ajax. You could reasonably expect to get past this stage, and then you're waiting for next week, where you've got PSV against Excelsior. And then on the Sunday, you've got Feyenoord against Go Ahead Eagles or Twente or Ajax. Like, you kind of want to be on this 4th stage by this week here. And I do think it's reasonable. I do think it's reasonable that people can be expecting to hit this top target on this second weekend. Specifically with PSV against Excelsior. And also with, like, Feyenoord and Twente and Ajax having reasonable home matchups. Yeah, Ajax might be a tight deadline. Yeah, it will be a tight deadline. 2 hours, 15 minutes will be tight. And that's why I think Eredivisie's prices have gone off, because people have, like, looked at the prospect and it's like, okay, let's say you don't get through the first stage with Canberra against Excelsior, you will hit it with this one. And then again, it's a tight schedule here. But yeah, you'll hit the second stage with these, and then again the same principle applies now. Now you're hitting the third stage with Feyenoord. Again, a bit of a tight setup of just 1 hour 15 minutes, but you're going to hit the 4th stage with Ajax. Like you know, there's no guarantees, but that's what people are like planning in their mind of that. And so when the top prize this week, you know, that second week could be $3,000 plus any rares that you might have to boost that prize pool. spending £500 or £600 or £700 on a couple of teams that make that work seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it? Seems like it. It's not the way it works. It's not. If only it was as simple as that. But yeah, it seems like a no-brainer. Same for Portugal. Like the process for the Portuguese league games. Stage 1. I wouldn't say stage 2 here or here. Stage 2. If you get lucky to get through it beforehand, perfect. Stage 3. Stage 4. So by Monday, I wouldn't touch it. By Friday, stage 5, Sporting, and then Saturday, stage 6. By next Saturday, you could reasonably expect to be in that top spot as well in the Portuguese league. So USG's back up was €7 this morning. Then Coffee, who will start, dropped, moved on auction to €60, and now the backup is €30. Jesus Christ. That's a bit weird, isn't it? So I have the capabilities to run the Eredivisie and Pro League. No, the Portuguese League and the Pro League. I don't have the capabilities to run the Eredivisie very well yet. But I just don't think I want to pay the prices to try it. But also looking at what I just explained as well, with how quote-unquote easy the path is. Again, one of those situations where if this is going to work, am I best off paying the premium now to have that opportunity of hitting that bonus top slot? Or am I best waiting, getting the players at reasonable prices and missing out on the chance of hitting that triple spot? And I genuinely don't know. I wonder if now that the La Liga is out, I wonder if these minor leagues do start trickling down a little bit for price as people start going, oh, I want to make sure I'm ready for, the La Liga. No, the Sanfrecce Osako transfer has fallen through. Look at that, just outbid on everything. And I'm putting in bids where I'm already a little bit above the most recent. Which is mad. Are La Liga cards craftable already? No, they won't be craftable until the game week after the games for La Liga have been played. I think Era JPL and Portugal will be riding high till that first game week starts. Yeah, which makes me happy that I've got 2 out of the 3 fully completed. Or, like 99% completed. I think Championship's going to have to be something I work on for this week, and I just have to buy, like, either bite the bullet with Eredivisie or just decide not to go for it. Yamal first mint price prediction. I honestly don't think it's going to go much higher than where it's at. I think the people that wanted this Yamal have come in straight away, whacked the bid on that they're happy to pay, and then have come. Like, you might get somebody that comes in and FOMOs, and all it takes is 2 people to want this first mint, and he could go up to £700 or £800. Last year he went for £550 first mint. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes in and around that same sort of region, 500, 525, 550. Bought into Championship yet? I've got a lot of players from the Championship, but not a lot of players that are probably good or going to start. I bought a lot of the £1.69 players. Having the same issues for the Portuguese league, outbid on almost everything and need the big 3 teams, but can't justify the spike in prices just to attempt the boosted rewards. Yeah, I feel you, man. And listen, I'm doing this as somebody who's like kind of fully committed to this, buying one of everything no matter what sort of mentality. And I'm even sitting here going, yeah, I'm not doing that. Like, this is just, you're just chasing your tail immediately if you overpay by that much. Like, you're putting a pressure then of having to hit the top target. Like, one of the fun things of the spreadsheet that 6090W made is that I look at Contender, the whole spend so far is 3,400. Because of how many cards I've got and how many lineups in leaderboards that will enable me to make, how many good options of matchups that I'll have in the leaderboard in the streaks because of it. That's not bad. Scotland is good. £2,000 outlay for everything. If I hit the top streak once throughout the season, I'll make a profit in Scotland. Belgium actually isn't bad. I've got a few cards still to get, but 3,000 there is not bad because, again, if I hit the top streak once during the 3x or twice outside of it, I'll likely accrue enough to make a profit. Portugal, the same. A similar sort of situation as Belgium Pro League here. The Eredivisie, I feel like if I went and got everything now that I'm missing from this, it would end up costing me about £4,000 or £5,000. And like, look at the average price per player, £9.33. It is so high. It is so high. And I haven't even got the good players. And the average price per player is still so high. So I'm like, even though as a net spend, as a total spend, I'm way above what I thought it would be for all of these leagues. And I'm not even close to being done. We haven't touched France 2. We've got loads of Bundes 2 to go. We've got loads of England 2 to go and loads of Eredivisie to go. Looking at each league in isolation, none of them I'm looking at thinking, oh, that's going to be really difficult to get back over time. The Scotland one looks rough. Maybe. But you've got to keep in mind that if the scores are low, they're low for everybody, which means in the leaderboard, with me having the best to pick from, I should be able to pick up some good rewards and some good returns. Like, and actually, it might not be the streaks that pays it back, but the leaderboards. And got to keep in mind as well, like, we will get the stars and the 1 star, no, the 2 stars and the 2 icons and the 4 stars that I'll be able to sell off and go straight against here. Like, you know, there's value to be had back here for sure. But yeah, it's, I think if Belgium was maybe 4,000, I'd be looking at going, wow, that's going to be really difficult to obtain. Crafting confirmed tomorrow after rewards time, 7 p.m. Yeah, there you go. It's relative to an extent. If successful in the first couple of weeks, any and every craft will hold great value the first few weeks. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when looking at the Portuguese league, if I've spent £3,000, if I get up here, and of course, if I hit this top prize, and again, I know, like, right now, because we're at the start of the season, it's a lot of if, buts, and maybes. It's if I can do this, and when hopefully I can do that. But if the theory holds true, and I'm able to hit this $3,000, that will be with a rare in season who's captain. It will give me an extra, like, what, $1,400 on top. That covers the entire league. If I can just hit this 3K top prize once with an in-season rare in there before it expires in 4 game weeks time, that is the entire of the league paid off. And that's excluding all of the things down here that we get the rest of the season. And then you've got to think, okay, so let's say we don't do that. That means if we can hit this here twice, the 1,000 twice, that would be $2,000 plus the 40% bonus. If we get that side of things right as well, another $800. That would be $2,800 from hitting this twice with all of the other stuff on top. All of a sudden, it's covered off again. Okay, maybe it's a little bit shy, but like for the most part, it's covered off again. So at 3,000, it's not that bad. If this pushed up to 4,000, by hitting this top streak once whilst it's 3x'd, you'd just about be looking at breaking even. But then you'd have to hit this top streak without the 3x 3 times to be able to pick up what you wanted back. No, babe. Yeah. What's up? A little bit, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yes. Yeah, spicy, please. Thanks. Very spicy. Are you expecting to be able to claim the SPFL stars tomorrow once the rewards out? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Nothing really much to say. Are you drinking this stuff? No, it's over there because it was left there. So I mentioned it. Thanks. I think tomorrow I'm going to wait for other people to claim their stars and their cards from the reward tiers here, because if they're from the same league, I will go in and claim them straight away. But if they're from a different league, I think I'll wait until Premier League cards are available until I claim all of this stuff. Like here is something that I think is going to be a good return for me that I don't know how to price it in. But regardless of whether these cards, the actual collection cards, are from the major leagues or not, the actual rewards, you know, the essence and stuff and the clues, it's going to be valuable. It is going to be valuable. Rare Lamine going for more than super rare Lamine. Yeah, super rare people probably won't bid on until right at the end. If this doesn't pay off, Nep, think of the Patreon you could sell with the knowledge you'll have of all these clubs next season. Yeah. Are we getting reward stream / mini crafting session tomorrow evening? No. I'm going to save it until next Tuesday. If Sorare was smart, it would be from another league, because to get them, you already have the stars from that league. Giving someone a star from another league, they're more likely to be, well, no, I have X now, let's build another team around him. Yes, but on the flip side, if I buy all those Premier League players and I get my icon card and it's Antoine Griezmann, I'm going to be furious. If it's some J League player, I'm going to be furious. If it's a K League player or a SPFL player, I'm going to be furious. I want a card from the league that I've just spent loads of time collecting. Do you know how much you spent on the MLS and the average price? I don't know the average price. The amount I spent was like 6,000 or something. Who scores better, Mbappe or Lamine? They're like 6 and 2 threes, mate. They're both like insane scorers. Your essence will be huge. Surely you have well over 100,000 when it comes to crafting. Yeah, I mean, maybe even more so. Like right now, obviously we've got 28,000 there. We're due currently, based on the rewards, 38,000 from rewards. You can't see it because my face cam's there. But yeah, I'm up to 38,000 essence for rewards. Some of that is rare, but not a lot of it. And some I could still pick up more essence yet as well from some teams still to play. And then obviously I've got the wheel spins, 2,800 wheel spins, that is going to generate a lot of market credits, a lot of clues, a lot of essence. See, wouldn't it be counterproductive to give you a card you likely already have if the cards are from the same league from the collection rewards? Well, that's what the guy said in the first place, right? Like, surely Sorare would want to give you a card from a league that you don't have. But as I said, I think if you gave everybody the option, do you want another star from this league, yes or no? People who were collecting SPFL cards would say no. People who are collecting Croatia League cards would say no. People who are collecting Premier League cards and Bundesliga cards would say yes, because the people that are collecting the SPFL cards want the upside of having that chance of getting a more expensive card. But people who expect collecting the Premier League and Bundesliga and La Liga and stuff don't want the downside of getting a card that's worth significantly less. And I would be disappointed in Sorare if I start claiming all of these stars and icons and they're all, like I say, if they're all like MLS players and J League players and K League players, it will be, to me, it will speak volumes about what my plans are for next year straight away, because I know that they're going to now take advantage where they can for me filling out all of these messages and stuff. League clue is 1,000 now, not 500. What do you reckon you make back cash-wise from 1,000 essence? Oh, it could be anything, couldn't it? You could get a pound player. You could get a £100 player. Like, people underestimate the collection reward / spins massively, especially the essence alone with them clues. could backfire, but it's why I jumped on the 1 league strat. Yeah, it could backfire, fix me. It could be that sort of thing where we're sat here going, oh my God, it's just, I'm getting £1 player after £1 player. But we could also end up getting 10 stars. Like, I think the guy who figured it all out it's 460,000 total essence from completing all the collection missions. I could honestly have like close to 1 million essence, which would be 1,000 crafts. Even if I get an average of £1 per player, that's still £1,000 back immediately. That's pretty good. If I get an average of £4 per player, that's £4,000 back. That's banging. Plus all the other stars and cards that we get back. Maybe, but after collecting everything, I pick up 5,000 or 6,000 back just from selling the stuff that I get from the stuff that I got from buying the stuff. Do you know what I mean? But on the flip side, what if you get unlucky? What if your average is 50p a player? Once you've used up wheel spins and clues, etc., we'll use essence for clues. If it's a good room, yes. And if the essence that I'm using is not a high priority league, yes. 1 million essence is more than 1,000 crafts. How so? How so? Why are the prices on the screen different to the ones on mine? Maybe yours are in euros or dollars? Yeah, I'll stay around until this Lamine ends, and then I do think I'm going to go and try and figure out, like I need to do a bit. I need to plan myself better. I need to build some spreadsheets for myself, which players I have and don't have, which like priority games. Maybe do some stuff with Cloud to build some stuff up. Wait, I made a mistake. Yeah, that's all right. The essence is league specific, so why aren't the icon stars? Is the essence league specific from the missions, is it? Josh teased your new overlay the other day in the Discord. It looks good. Yeah, it does look good. It is going to be good. Should hopefully be sorted by like this weekend. Because if you get a special room, you're going to use the other clues anyway. Yeah, I will have a lot of clues though. Have you thought about assigning an EV for 1,000 essence? So if you do get a player below 50p, then you know to return it for 200 essence. Not really. I think I will probably keep the players. What do I use Cloud for? Oh, a whole bunch of different stuff. Workout regimes, workout plans, just a little bit of like financial data tracking. Like sometimes for like search engine tags, search engine optimization, stuff like that. Use it for general curiosities, asking questions that I don't know answers to. Like, use it for a whole host of different things. Going by the current price of some players, 18 to 20 euros for Kouké, so Club Brugge goalkeeper is actually banging. It was very, very good for Mechelen a few seasons ago. Lejeune limited is more than is rare. Guys, don't look at the prices now and say, oh my gosh, X limited is more than X rare. Nothing's expired yet. No, it's all meaningless until those prices are locked in and actually like confirmed. Does Josh have an API key for Sorare? He does, yeah. If so, I could give him the code for the spreadsheet I made so you guys could become owners of it and change things around. Yeah, you could do, yeah. Yeah, so he used the API for all of this stuff. We can't figure out yet how to get Sorare 27 streaks on there because they are obviously, like what you said, 690W, they're hidden behind the login. So I can only get the Sorare 26 games and content and stuff on here at the moment. Perisic, his 1 out of 1,000 limited actually sold for more than his 1 out of 100. Yeah, there are some outliers where the limiteds did sell for more than the rares. And there will also be some outliers where the rares will sell for more than the super rares. There will be few and far between, mind you. Nep, I hope you look into Cloud X Sorare API. It will make you a custom interface rather than a spreadsheet. It will also do back-end refreshes and come up with errors and warnings beforehand. Oh, is that right? Okay, I will literally do that after this, Criminal FIFA. Cheers. Looking to buy some gems for set. Are the gold packs worth over the silvers? Don't buy gems for set right now. What's up, Quinny pal? Wait until the new set comes out in a month from now. Because right now, all you can win is gems. You like, when the new set comes out in a month, you'll be able to win cash. Why are you pronouncing it like that? It's cloud. So I am the bomb 1992. Like, does it matter? Does it matter? Will the new set wipe existing essence in set? Yes. Everything will be wiped for the new set apart from your gem balance. I thought it was Claude, not Claude. Yeah, I had no clue you were talking about Cloud. Lol. Then how did you know that it was pronounced Claude rather than Cloud? Which, listen, it's the same. It's the same word, right? You know it's the same word. Also, you wrote yeah wrong. You should have capitalized your I. You didn't put a full stop at the end of your sentence. You typed LOL instead of literally laughing out loud. Hey, let's also, the word cloud or Claude should be capitalized, not lowercase c when you're talking about it. So, hey, let's be arseholes to each other and just pick up on every little inconsistency that could be improved. Yeah? Let's do that. Let's be those guys to each other. That'd be fun. Let them know. It's just one of those things, man, where it's like, just don't be that fucking guy, man. Just don't be that guy. What, guys, what has he just said there? I can't understand what he's saying because he hasn't capitalized his Y again. He still hasn't capitalized his I. There was still no full stop at the end, so I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Haven't watched you for years, and you're still as grumpy and moaning. Maybe it's you. Maybe every time you come in, it turns me grumpy and moaning. Maybe you've got a superpower, or it wouldn't be a superpower, would it? What would it be called? An unsuperpower? Almost positive it could be pronounced either way. Yeah. But again, it just doesn't matter, does it? Is it worth scrapping 5-star set players now then and using the essence on MLS to try and get gems for the new set? Yeah, so we will get European players in set before the new set comes. So the current set, the summer camp, we will get European players for. So I've currently got my essence saved, 363,000 of it, for when the new Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, etc. players come, because there will be some game weeks in there for those. What's funny is Nep is my age. You're almost 42 as well. And you're going into people's streams trying to correct their dialects or their tones or their grammar. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I saw the Sorare noti there. The first Sorare 27 cards are coming to crafting. Tomorrow around rewards time, you'll be able to craft cards from all 3 leagues. We'll let you know as soon as they're available. In any case, make sure to check the leagues available in crafting under rules and eligibility, available competitions. Boom. There we go. La 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 Liga. Do you have any current European players in set right now, or did you sell everything? Yeah, I think I've got some. Yeah, none of the stars though. I got, or none of the icons, just the stars and below. 42 in 2 weeks. Nep 84 was a great year. 42 in 2 weeks, are you? It's about another 11 weeks for me. So you scrapped your colours cards to get that essence? Yeah, only the icons though. Yeah. YouTube just gave me a Claude ad bid rant. A cloud ad. Did cards drop last year after boosted rewards ended or not really? Yeah, they did, yeah. I don't think we're going to see the same market trends this year as last year though, because I do think anytime entry is going to be why, basically. What's up, the foot accountant? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in the stream. Been seeing you all over my timeline recently. All over my timelines, man. Every time I go onto TikTok, it's another. It's just you every time. My wife's starting to get jealous, man. She's like, "Who's this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's the way I go. What about it?" How was the foot? How was the foot 27? Are we calling it foot now, or is it UT trip? You're straight on buying number 2, 3 keepers will do well this year, selling them on when they're surprisingly in lineups, or using them. Yeah, I started watching you at 14, gone through phases over the past 5 years as I don't watch FC content anymore. Well, I'm 30 this year. That means I've watched you for more than half my life. That's mad, isn't it? By the time I get to, yeah, but like I'm only a few years away from making content for half my life, basically. Criminal FIFA with the Prime, baby. Let's go. Oh, damn. Do you know what's mad? We got Criminal FIFA in here. Who was in here earlier? We've got Foot Accountant in here right now. There was another one of the leaker accounts that was in here earlier. You guys are just loving Sorare, aren't you? Just say it. Just say it honestly. Trip was all right. Always cool to have this unique perspective behind the scenes. I've said this even like many years ago, FIFA 11, FIFA 12, when I used to go to like some events in like South London where they would have the UK headquarters, and I'd go there, and the problems have always been the same with communications. The guys that you go and see, they want to tell the world everything because they're so confident in what they're doing, their beliefs in what's right and what's wrong, their ability to make the game. Like, they want to tell the world everything. But the guys above them are like, no, you can't say that. And it's been the same year on year on year. And it's only when you get that insight yourself do you understand. And because your viewers and my viewers don't have that experience, they then think that we're part of the chain of liars. Do you know what I mean? I saw one of the top comments in your videos, and like, I just thought it's so harsh on you and so unfair on you that because you asked the same questions that some other content creators asked, it was obviously a pre-designed script of questions that you was allowed to ask. And like, they might have given you some kind of notion towards maybe what you couldn't ask, or things that they would really like to talk about because they think it's important to the community. But people were just too quick to be like, oh yeah, they all had the same questions and answer sheet. That's all they was allowed to ask. What would be the point in that? What would be the point? They might as well, if that's all the information they wanted people to know, they might as well just put out their own podcast and be like, there you go, guys. Here's all the information. Did you see my tweet after the foot dive? I didn't. I haven't really looked at X for a few days. I used to write about games for a living, and I had more "you can't say that, the person you were speaking to shouldn't have said that" from EA than any other company. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's mad. I remember when I recorded, when I did for FIFA 12, I went and did it was like a capture event that they called it back then, and you used to go there, you used to take a camera with you, and like, there was not really great capture cards back then, so you'd record the footage on the PC and you'd put like a hard drive in, you'd take all your footage with you and you take it all home. I must have sent back about 4 or 5 videos of things I wanted to make. One of them was told no because a player had the wrong color boots on. One of them I got told no because that in one of the games the shirts just disappeared, like as I was like hollow body for about 5 in-game seconds. So I was like, no, you can't upload that. And it was like of all the content I recorded over a 3-day period, I got like 2 videos out of it. One of them was skill games. It's one of my most viewed videos anyway, and I can't remember what the other one was. And it was like, Jesus, they are so picky. They are so picky. Bro, I had 15 minutes after seeing the foot presentation to come up with questions and think about how people would be reacting to it. Yes, it's like, it's just really unfair for the community to like rip at people for just asking the questions that, like, the thing is, Nate, like, and I really liked your first question, because your first question was like, why the fuck did you stop talking to us, motherfuckers? Like, you know, I may be reading between the lines a little bit there, but that was your first question. I wanted to know the answer to that. So it's not like you're even asking questions that we don't want the answers to. You are asking the questions that everybody wants the answers to, and yet they're still sitting there saying, "Oh my God, why are you asking these questions?" You telling me you don't want the answer? Of course you do. Of course you do. The problem is that you didn't get the answer you wanted. That's when you take issue, and that's what bothers me with, like, you know, portions of our communities, is when they don't get the thing that they want, they're unhappy with the thing. It's really frustrating. I can say I had zero pushing from EA on what to ask. Only thing they had to okay was my question about FIFA 17. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. I think the FIFA 17 thing, I wonder if they've seen the kind of like passion of the fans, and instead of being like, oh, let's bring back FIFA 17, but I wonder if they could bring, I wonder if they maybe now forward think about what can they do to keep the history of Ultimate Team fond for people. People forget these are YouTubers, not journalists. They want YouTubers to push hard and shamelessly for an answer. It's not the same. Yes, it's true. It is true. I'm sure they've seen it, but none of the devs had any idea what they'll do with it. I like, for me, the FIFA 17 thing is going to fall flat on its face. And for me, it's going to fall flat on its face because of why it did for me. There was two things, and I have recorded a video on this, and I like, maybe it'll be up next couple of days or whatever. But the first thing for me was I got three options of actually getting access to FIFA 17. Number one, pirating it, which I don't want to do for very many obvious reasons. Number two is buying an account for it, where I'm using somebody else's credentials to log in, which also comes with its own risks. Or number three, buy a key to the game, which is currently over £1,000 in the UK to do, which I don't want to do. So straight away, those three things, I was like, oh, do I really want to do this? But then actually watching Nick play it and watching a few other people play it and being in a Discord where they're kind of putting updates on it and stuff, Nick getting 500,000 FC points or FIFA points and packs dedicated to him and Team of the Year packs and Team of the Season packs and stuff. One of the things I loved about FIFA 17 was the grind, was playing against people, was earning those first foot champs rewards and those monthly rewards. Like, I don't think playing the game would capture that again, because there won't be enough people on the game. The rewards won't be there. It's like you're not actually going to be reliving your experience playing the game. You're going to be introducing a new buffed version of playing the game. And I just don't think I would enjoy actually playing the game. And I really prefer to remember my time fondly on that game than get back onto the game and decide, oh, actually, this was shit. Josh said to me this, Kelleher Dolan, right? And I'll say it to you because I think it is very fitting. If you want to see me play FIFA 17, there is... Hold on, let's get to it. There you go. There is a mountain of content of me playing FIFA 17. Man, look at those views, man. I punch myself in the face every day for a month to get these views back again. If you want to watch me play FIFA 17, it's there, mate. It's there, baby. You go watch it. Go check it out. Oh, I was there. Trust me. Do it. Go and watch it again. Go and watch it again. The ads are still on. Go and watch it again. Those are the Jack clearly thumbnails. Yeah, yeah. Man, I never knew what happened to him. Just one day he was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore." Fair enough. And now we've got Matt, who's also great. I was looking the other day though. My thumbnails, even here, look, it's the same face every time. The same image on the face. I'm considering going to not having faces on my thumbnails now, and a lot of that stems from the Division 2 content that I made, where it's just about the content, man. And yeah, these are AI generated thumbnails, and I think they are absolutely fucking unreal. But these videos did all right for a game that I'm not known in, all things considered. But it's like FC content on the whole hasn't changed in a decade. The thumbnails are still the same. The titles are still the same. The content style is still the same. The types of content is still the same. Like FC content, like one of the reasons why FC content has died is because the game is exhaustive. It's been exhausted from EA, but also other content platforms have taken a lot of views away, whether that be X or TikTok or Instagram. Like my Instagram reels and my TikToks bang all the time. My YouTube videos don't. So other platforms have taken away a portion of the viewership, but a different reason why the FC content views have died is because nobody is innovative anymore. Look at what happened when those I beat FIFA videos came. You know, I played FIFA for 24 hours or whatever. They just got rinsed into oblivion and then they died because everyone's seen it all before again. And like there has been zero innovation on YouTube for FC content in my opinion. I disagree. You need to change faces if you upload regularly and switch them around. Reason being, it brings freshness on the suggested tab about a new upload. That's why I think no face works more, because then you can change the whole thumbnail around. There was a small renaissance with the I made this team in X hours content, but 100% FIFA FC content has just died. Yeah, and a lot of that is because the game is the same. Okay, it's not identical, but fundamentally it's the same. So next year, when we get Champs Rewards, you've seen Champs Rewards last year and the year before and the year before and the year before and the year before. So maybe there'll be a nuanced difference in what rewards you get, but ultimately it's just the same. You could A/B test them to see which works better. So I used to use the A/B testing system for titles and thumbnails, and the videos just started performing significantly worse. So I stopped, and my views like picked back up almost instantly again. And when I say pick back up, like I was getting like 20,000 on the 6 p.m. content. When I started the A/B testing, it was just going down 15K, 13K, 12K, 11K. I stopped the A/B testing, picked straight back up again. But YouTube of your caliber is fully personality based. People watch you for you regularly, so your face on a thumbnail fully adds to the brand of NepentheZ. So to a degree, you're absolutely right. I just don't think my brand holds enough importance anymore in that space. But I also think B, personality driven FC YouTubers just don't get any views. Maybe like the hashtag house do, and that's because there's a group of them. But as a single entity, I don't think there's a single personality based FC YouTuber that still gets good views. Trust me, working with Nick for over 8 years now, we went from no face to focusing on faces, and now to even on bad FIFAs, they help with the views. That's interesting. Maybe I should just stop being lazy, because one of the issues for me is it's the same face all the time, every time, all the time. Wait, there might always a different face. Yes, but then it's the same face again, all the time, every time. Oh, but funnily enough, the one where it's just my face and a real image of my face, that was a college football situation thing there. But it's just the same face. But look, different face, shit views. Different face, shit views. It's the same face it has been, but yeah, I need some new headshots, basically. Here we go, guys. What are we saying? I don't think this price is going to move. It's simple. Take a 30-second video of doing different faces, send it to the designer, and we'll do the rest. Oh, that'd be 30 seconds away from Sorare. You're asking a lot. £635. Has it been bid up already? Has it not come through? How much did his first mint go for last season? 550. what people tend to do is wait until there's like a few seconds left. But that's a silly idea because it just resets to a minute anyway. It's not like you can get like put your bid in with a few seconds left and then like, yes, you buying this? No, not me on this one, Dave. No, maybe in a couple of weeks, but not now. The old unique auctions were fun to watch. Yeah, they were. Remember the fun of watching the old U bidding wars? Yeah, it was good. Back when PSU fans used to be on stream with lead. They were the days, mate. They were the days. You never know that you're in the days until they're gone, and you look back. Is somebody going to come in, or is this Lamine Yamal going to go for 474? Damn. Sorare's dead. Sorare is dead. He actually, I thought I'd refresh it and there'll be a bid there. What did I say to you about an hour and a half ago? I don't think this will be bid on much more. I did think it would get another couple of ticks. That is a phenomenal price for Lamine. Now, right, now you're going to see the primary sales of the lower tier divisions because people are going to go, wait, hold the fuck on. I can get Lamine Yamal for 470, or I can go and get this like guy I don't really know about for like 80 quid in the Portuguese league. No, like you're going to see the dip now. No way I thought I would go for under 500. Yeah, people were thinking it was going to be like £1,000 or 750 or whatever. As I say, I thought it'd be somewhere close to what it was last year. Last year, Yamal 2 and 3 was like 300. Vanaken for 125 or Yamal 470. Yeah, but if Yamal goes down to the air, literally like 400, 380, 350 now, what do you want? Vanaken for 120 or Yamal for 350? Gots one of 1,000 went for 248 compared to that to Yamal. Yeah, it's mad. I wouldn't be surprised if Yamal 2 of went for more because people are going to use that 474 as a benchmark and they're going to go, okay, I'll offer 400. And then somebody's going, well, I'll just do 410. All right, I'll do 420 then. Oh, his first went for 470. Okay, I'll do 470. I just didn't think it would be less than last year. Oh, yeah, I didn't really either. The worst thing about that Gods is he's likely to leave to be PSG for rotation. Yeah. There's no value in a 4x rare. Plus, the reality is, yeah, that's the other thing, Roja. First mints are meaningless. They're just not important. How much was Lamau last year? 550. See, that happens loads where rares 1 of 100 goes less for the 2 of 100. Yeah, I think last year, I bought Dembele and Nuno Mendes, and then their 2 ofs went for a bit more, and it validated my price because I was like, damn, nice. I got the 1 ofs for cheaper. But then 3 days later, they was like 40% of the price. Me sat here with 8 Norwich first mints. It's a bit different though, isn't it? Like what's crazy is like, look at this guy, this Xavi Espart, £25. Like that's a £2 player. That's a £2 player. What did Pedri go for last year? Where is Pedri this time? I think Pedri might have been injured for a long time at the start of last season. Yeah, he went for 230. Yeah, same as it is now. Do we think Pedri's... I'll wait. I want to see what the rare Yamal goes for, and then I'll be ending the stream. Well, rare Yamal last year went for like 2.1k. The Torrance guy for Barca is in talks with Ajax. Oh, is that right? Gerard Martin for £43. I think he'll be about £10 in about 2 weeks. Who is winning the Yamal rare? Let's have a look. Major Legacy. Pedri's rare is 1100. So the minor leagues are up on last year, but the big leagues are less. But that happened last year as well, didn't it? Don't you remember? Like some of the minor leagues were selling for crazy, and people were expecting the major leagues to be insane, and they just weren't. What I'm hoping this does is I'm hoping this opens a door for me getting 70% of the league for £1.70. You know, if I can build out the bulk of the league with those cheapos from those low, like unassuming teams, I'd be really happy with that. And then I can like pick up the kind of starters and the main stars as time goes on. It's just great news for you, to be honest. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's essentially your cap now, around £500. Yeah, for a star. Yeah. Espago, Macago. I'd be interested to know if anybody in the stream is picking up some of these first mints. Are any of you guys like on top of some of these cards? Could be the users that have spent their budgets on other leagues before the big ones have come on auctions. Yeah. I think that's like, I guess Sorare's plan is that. Let's put out the small leagues. Well, I suppose the small leagues start first, so it's not really, but... I'm tempted, but only on the lesser players. Mine was Giacomakis, £900 for his rare. Jesus. I'm on the Pedri. The limited or the rare, Sam? Oh, yeah, there you go. You are on the Pedri. Wait, hold on, Sam. Are you my affiliate? Did you use my code to sign up? Is Mbappe on the market yet? Yeah, he probably will be. I don't know why they put Barcelona. No, you didn't. Oh. I hope you get him for this price then. That's too bad. Chesney cheaper than a random academy squad player is funny. Which one's the random academy squad player? I was hoping on Hamza first card, but he's not in the collection. Oh, damn. I honestly think... I think Lamine at that price is crazy. I even think Pedri at 245 is good. I am curious to see if his second mint is down in the 160, 150 range like it has trended with other cards, or if his second mint is up around 245 again. GG, Sam. Well done. Enjoy your Pedri. The rare is worse. 4 times this. Yeah. The rares are not great prices. Like this Pedri 1100 already is pretty mad. Typo, my bad. Why? Or at least say 1 of 1,000 above Yamal. Yeah, quite possibly. But Real Madrid, the second string of players, or is it another club otherwise? Yeah, Real Madrid are the second string of players. See, when it comes to like Sevilla and stuff, I'm going to try and get as many of these players as I can on like one bid. Yamal went for 475. Koundé was like 160 last year. He's 60 with 10 minutes left. I wonder if the La Liga players follow the same trend of being like here now, trending down. Then the week before they come, they just start going boom. Do you reckon Classic Rare in Champ would be possible to be a good play for these higher cards? Yeah, possibly. What I wonder with someone like Yamal is that anybody that is looking to play streaks that already has a classic Yamal might be sitting there thinking, I don't need him. I'll use the classic. Let me go and buy Gordon's and the sort of like De Jongs and Pau Kubasi because I could just use my classic Yamal when a reveal is going to be live. Do you know what? I don't actually know. I have 3 classics, level 7 or 8. Mine are. Surely you can say that about any card any year, but you can only use one classic card in a lineup. And to use, like, if you were to buy a full Barcelona, if you knew you wanted to use Barcelona in streaks, and you thought to yourself, who's the most expensive card that I could buy so that I'll use them as a classic so I don't have to, Yamal would be that number 1, which means then you'd just buy the other 4 and you'd save yourself the £500. I think you probably need multiple smashers because of the lockout. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, 100% Nep. I have Lamine and Mbappe classic. I'll focus on in-season Courtois and Juan Garcia. Yeah, precisely, right? And so as a result of that, you might actually see some of the rotation players tick up a little bit more than they have done in previous seasons. And some of the stars tick down a little bit more. That's my strategy. I'm buying a classic for my expensive set of the 5s. Yeah, there you go. And then Rob says as well, yep, classic smasher like Yamal was more cost effective than a classic keeper, etc. And so I do think that might be playing the part in these prices. Anthony Gordon's up at £100. See, I think that could be a cracking price for Gordon. I think he could absolutely bang at Barcelona. Although I don't know if he's expected to start much with Rafinha. I don't know if maybe Rafinha comes right side or what, but Rafinha's at £108. Yes, that's the plan. I want to use Yamal, Olise, etc. in classic. Always use the most expensive card. Yeah, precisely. Rafinha plays 10, surely. Yeah, maybe. Gordon on the left, Rafi centre, probably. Yeah, that is very possible. Last year I had a classic keeper, and you lose quite a bit of flexibility doing that way. Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's true. I have classics of every smasher in La Liga. 1 Yamal, 1 Mbappe, 2 Pedri, 1 June, 1 Cabrasi, 1 Juan Garcia, 1 Courtois, etc. For the first game week, I'm not buying any of the smashers. Yeah, that'll probably be my plan as well. You've received an offer. It's probably could... look at that, £37 14 hours ago. You don't want to buy my one? Get out of here, man. A Sing stands, Gordon striker, Rafinha left wing is most likely. You got a Celtic lineup tonight? I'll have them in streaks, yeah. I will have them in streaks. Right, guys, that is going to be it for me for today. Another long 4-hour Sorare stream. Some interesting discussions today, that's for sure. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Good luck with your purchases. I'm going to go and try and plan my mind with what's going on here. But yeah, cheers for chilling. Cheers for watching.